New money and old money spend the same. No matter how long or storied the cash is, it still represents an asset that leads to gains. The Cass Tech technicians bring deep pockets to the table. The green guys have been banking and building titles since 2011. CT went on a run of 8 straight years of reaching a semifinal at minimum. That run also included all 3 of their MHSAA football state titles. Meanwhile, Southfield A&T enters the room with a fresh feel for profiting. As a new kid on the block, the Warriors know credit is earned, not given. The 2022 version of A&T is led by a rich 2024 class that alone features 8 Division I football prospects. Although the 11 Warriors aren't broke, they do need to fix some things. Last season, Cass Tech rolled over Southfield A&T in the 2021 opener, 49-22. Can the air-raiding Warriors outscore a stingy, defensive-minded, and star-studded Cass Tech team in Week 1? We are ready for football. In Season 2 of Metro Detroit's best high school football live and on-demand coverage on The Prep. And now, let's get ready to fly into Southfield for the Warriors and the Technicians and our Week 1 Gridiron Game Day.
Welcome to Southfield A&T High School. One of the best and strangest high school football games you'll ever see is resuming. Southfield A&T and Cass Tech locked in a duel. It is 26-24 with just about 6 minutes to go in the first half, and we are resuming football nearly 48 hours after we started football. This game is so strange that we have made a call to the bullpen on play-by-play. You are about to see that I am not Chad Bush. Hi, I'm Evan Stockton. Sam Stickday is back. Lexi Ayala is back on the sidelines. High school football in the state of Michigan, in terms of raw talent, it is not getting better than what you're going to see on the field this afternoon. Stick, you're going to take us through highlights in just a second, but quickly, I wasn't at the first game.
Yeah.
What should we expect when we resume this ball game in a sec?
Scoring, and more scoring. I mean, we had 7 touchdowns in the first quarter on Thursday night. Only 1 touchdown in the second quarter, but we still got 6 minutes left to play, so who knows what can happen. And these are quick scoring drives, too. We're talking 30 seconds, 25 seconds, 40 seconds. So quick action, lots of stuff going on, and it was a lot of fun to watch on Thursday night. Can't wait to finish it up here on Saturday.
Yeah, by the way, because of the circumstances that ended the game prematurely on Thursday, there's no fans here at the stadium this afternoon as we finish. We know we've got a few extra eyeballs. Welcome to Gridiron Game Day on the Prep. We appreciate you joining us. All right, Stick, you're going to take us through these highlights from the first quarter and a half or so of the game from the other day. If you like offense, if you like big plays, enjoy watching all these highlights on the screen.
Yeah, and that was a crazy thing. We didn't get to play a full game, but we have a full game worth of highlights, starting off with Mumfield to Sewell. That was the first touchdown of the game. Little double pump action, too, and a nice diving play into the pylon for the touchdown. That put Cass Tech up. They missed the extra point, so they were up 6-0. Then Southfield A&T responded immediately with a crossing slant pass to Jarrett over the middle. Nice little dance moves, too, in there. We saw lots of dance moves and lots of penalties after every touchdown, but that's all right. Then you get a nice kick return by Sean Hodges. He takes it to the house. And then on the very next possession, Sean Hodges gets back in there again, able to block a punt. So he was having a good game up until that point. And it was back and forth, but here's Cass Tech getting back on the board. Pretty much a blown cover 2 coverage. Mumfield goes to Elijah Jordan in the back of the end zone for the touchdown. Beautiful play call. Some more nice dance moves out of Cass Tech. They were dancing back and forth all day long in that first quarter. And look at this move. Oof. You love to see that out of Isaiah, shaking the middle linebacker. Then, of course, somersault into the end zone. Nice little penalty on that. There were lots of penalties in the first half. Lots of touchdowns, too, though. A very exciting game, and that's why I'm so excited for it to continue here today. But check out some more of these highlights. Nice little screen pass. This is the guy that kind of stole the show, Sadler. We're talking he went from one side of the field to the complete other, using his speed, using his athleticism. We saw him Dion high step on a different play. We saw him run over somebody, then step over him. And the kid's got some attitude for just a freshman. And then, of course, here for the two-point conversion, back to Sadler. And then we're looking at Southfield A&T getting back on the board. Number 6, Jarrett catches a nice little out pass, blocking downfield. Good blocking by the wide receivers. And then Cass Tech always responding here. Nice, deep. Oh, this was the interception. This is actually what kind of got A&T to keep them in the game. Back-to-back interceptions by Cass Tech. So some good defense by Southfield A&T. Even though they were letting up touchdowns, they were getting the turnovers. And this is what potentially tied the game to take us to 26-24. Nice little rushing touchdown right there by Isaiah Marshall. And then nobody knows what's going on. They're talking about it. The officials are talking to the coaches. The coaches are talking to the officials. You see a little guy waving his hands at the 50-yard line, announcing that the game has been canceled. That was after about a half hour trying to get fans out of the stands. And as you can see, there are just some fans left. They were trying to clear it out at Lawrence Tech University. Absolutely crazy, crazy scene. Nothing I've ever been a part of in my life. But I'm glad that they're back here playing today, because that was one of the things that we were talking about on the broadcast. You know, because in baseball, after 5 innings, it's a game, right? Is it after 1 quarter? Is it a football game? How do you do that? And if you did that, how do you end a game on a 2-point conversion when the team could potentially tie it up? Yep. So we're back. We're here today. But, man, what a crazy, crazy 48 hours it's been for the MHSAA and these 2 high school football programs.
Yeah, we've got 3 months to go in this high school football season, all the way to Thanksgiving weekend in Ford Field, and already this is one of the best and strangest football games of the season by far. Let's hit our first break on Gridiron Game Day. When you come on back, we check in with the 3rd member of our crew, Lexi Ayala. She's going to talk to the head coach for Southfield A&T, Aaron Marshall, after the break.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here again with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. Everywhere you look this time of year, people are running, and that's a great thing because running is an excellent exercise, especially for your cardiovascular and musculoskeletal systems. But the question is, are you running a safe running program? All too often, people are hobbled by things like shin splints and patellar tendonitis. But luckily, simple things like stretching and warm-up, the right running shoes, and realistic weekly mileages can keep you in your running game. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
Today I'm going to tell you about sportsmanship because it's important. Treat your opponents the way you would want to be treated. My mom says that. Listen to the referees. It's their job. Be nice to their team and our team. Cheer them on. Always play fair. It's the right thing to do. It's sportsmanship. It's not that hard.
Cass Tech and Southfield A&T about to resume a ball game that started a couple of days ago. 5:50 remaining in the second quarter. The score right now is 26-24 Cass Tech. 3rd member of our crew, Lexi Ayala, approaching kickoff. Standing by with Marvin Rushing, the head coach for Cass Tech.
Hi, I'm Lexi Ayala here with Cass Tech's head coach, Marvin Rushing. Coach, this is attempt 2 of game 1. The offense started off hot for you guys. How do you keep that momentum rolling into this one?
Well, we're going to be fine because the challenges we had were self-created, lack of communication, lack of teamwork. This game being postponed for a couple of days gave us an opportunity to go back, watch the film, clean some things up. Our guys are eager to go today. They're eager to go today. We had other things we should be doing with our families, so we understand what we've sacrificed today to play, so we're going to make sure this is worth it.
Absolutely, and Coach, Southfield's aerial game came out hot on their offensive end as well. How are you going to slow that down on defense?
We'll get after the quarterback, simple and plain. Our D-line should not be getting blocked, so they're going to get to the quarterback.
And Coach, everyone's dying to know, so I have to ask, was it a bus problem or was it purposeful mind games to skip warm-ups in that first attempt of the game?
It was not on nothing on our side, so I would say no comment on that.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck today.
All right, thanks, Lex, and thank you, Coach Rushing. That is the coolest shirt I've ever seen in my life. How I need to get one of those CT Dog shirts, I'll find out after. All right, so Lexi talked with Marvin Rushing. Now it's time to hear Lexi speak with the head coach for Southfield A&T, Aaron Marshall, standing by with Lex.
I'm Lexi Ayala here with Southfield's head coach, Aaron Marshall. Coach, no fans in this attempt 2 of game 1. I want to know, does that affect the momentum? If not, why not?
Of course you love to have your fans here cheering you on, but I think the boys are pretty locked in. They know we came here to take care of business, so it shouldn't affect them too much.
And what was the message going into this one? You have to pick up right where you left off, and it's to tie this one up.
Yeah, correct. Just stay mentally focused, right? Really avoid the mistakes you made the first game, and just stay locked in.
Coach, any areas of improvement you want to make on the defensive end? 7 touchdowns scored between the 2 of you before halftime. I know you want to keep them slowed down.
Absolutely. Correct our mistakes. We had some missed assignments in that first half. Just kind of slow down, relax, think about what you're supposed to do, and just execute.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Good luck today.
Appreciate it.
All righty, Lex, thank you very much. Aaron Marshall has about as talented a team in the state, Stick, as you will find. Excited to see what they will have in store for us this afternoon into the early evening.
Yeah, and we got to thank a very special sponsor for actually making this broadcast happen, because they're not allowing fans in here today. So the only way people are able to view this from an outsider's perspective is right here on the prep. And, we already have people in the chat. Erica, I see you. Mr. Boneman, I see you. Britt, Peter, and all them. And this wouldn't be possible without G-Brand. They stepped up and they paid for this entire broadcast to happen. So that way, not only can the parents watch their kids, boyfriend or girlfriends can watch their boyfriends, however that works, however you want to work that out. But it's really great that G-Brand stepped up and did what they did today, because without them, nobody be able to see this game. So make sure you support them if you're ever looking for uniforms or anything like that, because obviously they give back to local schools here in the Metro Detroit area and in Southeast Michigan. So make sure you support G-Brand, because without them, we would not be able to witness 5:50 left in the second quarter, 2-point conversion, 26-24. We could start this game off, and this is awesome. They're right on the field right now. They're getting out there. No kickoff, no pomp, no circumstance. We're just ready to play some football.
Yeah, this is good, pure old-fashioned football between 2 of the more talented teams in the state of Michigan. Southfield A&T led by one of the better quarterbacks in the state, Isaiah Marshall, who infamously was offered by Jim Harbaugh as a middle schooler.
And here we go. Such a weird vibe to start this game, isn't it?
This is very strange.
Yes.
This is like when we had to call games with no fans during COVID. A&T will start with a full house backfield behind Marshall. They're trying to tie the game as they go for 2. And, of course, on cue, we have a flag.
And that is exactly how the last game was going, too, before it got just lots of penalties. Like I said, lots of penalties, lots of scoring. But, you're sitting there for 48 hours. You're thinking about hitting the opponent again, and you just fire off the ball a little too soon for big number 72.
Yeah, that was Nate Green, Stick, who jumped a little early. So they'll back Isaiah Marshall and his teammates up a little bit. As you probably know, as you tune into this game, there are weapons galore for the Warriors. Jawan Jarrett, number 6. Javin Jones, a shifty little running back. And Zavi Bowman, number 24, transfer from Brother Rice, who is lined up far side of your screen as Southfield A&T tries for 2.
Yeah, and Southfield A&T had a lot of success over the middle with their slants.
Marshall on cue, throwing a slant to Bowman. It's incomplete. 2 plays and 2 flags.
And that is looking like some holding on the defense. So we'll run it again, this time back at the 2.5-yard line.
Yeah, that was number 6, Matthew Nickenstick, who was out there. There's your official holding call, so we'll do it again.
Well, now you go back to the original play call that you drew up 48 hours ago at the 2.5-yard line.
Well, we can see they're going back to the original play because they had more skill guys in. Now Here come the big boys back in with the ball back at the 2.
Well, that's what you do. You hate to scheme for 48 hours and then have to change your play call just like that. So here they are back at it again. Strange game. Of course it would start like this.
Looks like they may try the exact same play they were planning earlier. On the ground, up the middle, reaching. I don't think he got there. Short on the try for 2. Warriors trying to pound it up the middle. It doesn't work. Cass Tech gets the stop, and they still have a 2-point lead.
Well, and that's the problem against running up the middle about Cass Tech. That is their strength. Their defensive line is their definite strength. We saw it on Thursday. Southfield A&T would try to run up the middle, and it really wasn't working. I'm shocked they came out, even though they went big, heavy backfield and kind of gave themselves some better insulation. You'd expect them to still spread it out and use their athleticism.
That was Matthias Davis, one of the linebackers for Southfield A&T, running the football. May have noticed that Southfield A&T has brand spanking new red helmets. Those things are beautiful. They're shining on a bright sunny day.
Yeah, and this field is absolutely beautiful. We got a chance to walk out there on that turf. Nice, beautiful turf here. You know, they're really trying to reestablish the program at Southfield A&T, or establish since they're a relatively new school. But just that pride that you take.
There is still plenty of Southfield Blue Jays stuff around if you look hard enough. Got to keep an eye on this return for Cass Tech. They already have busted one for a touchdown in this game. Feels weird to say this game because it happened 2 days ago. Nigel Dunn will kick it for Southfield A&T. The returners for Cass Tech are lined up just shy of the 30. They'll punch it on the ground. Bobbling off a couple of bodies. Technicians on the return. And they're tackled shy of the 40, so the squib kick works for Southfield A&T. All right, Stick, you were here for part one, game one, whatever we want to call it.
Round one?
What? Sure, that works. What should we watch out for offensively for Cass Tech as we resume this game?
I mean, Cass Tech was moving the ball up and down the field at will, and the guy that I've been focusing on is Corey Sadler. He's just a freshman, and watching this kid, his athleticism, his strength, he was running over people on Thursday night, and it's really up to Mumfield. He had 3 touchdowns, but he also had 2 interceptions, so you take the good with the bad with him. Hopefully you see more of the good.
Sean Hodges, the back to the right of Mumfield as they start. First down 10. Sean wants to throw a high throw that is caught in traffic. How did he squeeze that thing in there? A hard crunch. Fortunately, the technician gets up after making the cast. That's Cassius Shivers. Big pot by Southfield A&T defensively.
Yeah, great name too, Cassius Shivers catching that ball. But the good news for the quarterback Mumfield, he came back to the ball. If he lets that ball kind of coast to him, that's probably picked, and that would be the 3rd pick of the game.
Get another look, Stick, at the starters for Cass Tech. You've brought up C.J. Sadler, number 1, who's outstanding. What are a couple other names we should be focusing on?
Kamari Anderson is a huge tight end, and he also plays on the defensive side of the ball. They've run a couple plays to get him open, just kind of running across the field.
First carry, Hodges. First down and more, right side. Flag behind the play as he's bumped out of bounds. That's in the area you usually get holding.
Yeah, that must be on the wide receiver for holding.
Looked like Jalen Howell, number 8, out there.
Yeah, but it looked like he just had good position. Then he pulled away and kind of had to go back, resulting. Oh, okay. Yeah. So take that play back. But, you know, for the first run of the game by Sean Hodges, it looked good. Just got to take away the holding penalties.
Do you think the offensive strategy is changing for either team as we start round 2 of this game?
I don't think so, because offense wasn't the problem for either of these teams on Thursday night. Defensively is where you want to kind of change your scheme.
Yeah. You can see the hold on the replay we just showed on the outside as Hodges was busting it that way. So it's still 2nd down and short for Cass Tech, but not a first down yet. Hodges remains in the game behind Mumfield in the gun. Play action to him, zipping it out. Anderson wide open. The big tight end's got the first down. A strong open field tackle takes away a potential bigger gain for Anderson, but still a first down for Cass Tech.
But that's the 3rd time they've run that play in this game. Twice on Thursday night and once just right there. That seems to be like their 2nd and 2, 3rd and 2 go-to play because, you know, he's a big kid. He falls forward, you're getting 2 yards on that. But running him across the entire team and having it offset with your team pulling to the right, it seems to work 3 times, so I'd expect to see it again.
Javin Jones just made the tackle for Southfield A&T. You're getting a look at their defensive starters. A lot of talented guys who also go both ways. It's a warm one today. Let's see how they hold up. Give Hodges, left side, tackled by a couple of Warriors after a good chunk gain on first down.
Yeah, got to hand it to Mumfield on that for just handling that snap. It was a high snap. It's tough to get in a rhythm, especially when your running back's running right by you. It's all about timing, but he was able to put it in the breadbasket and get a nice 5-yard gain on first down.
Couple of runs already for Cass Tech. You know, you talk so much about the skill players for Cass Tech traditionally, Stick, but the one thing that is somehow underrated with the technicians, how good their offensive line is and big every single year.
Yeah, not only that, they have some underclassmen starting this year, so they're already stocking the pond for the future.
Mumfield swings it out in the hands of Elijah Jordan, who busted out a 1 tackle, and he is eventually brought down.
Now they're going to say he got a knee down behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that's exactly
a
what they're
1-yard
gonna
loss.
say.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was gonna see if they let that go or not. I couldn't tell from here if his knee got down, but the official's on the field. He's right there. He saw it up close and personal, and I guess his knee touched down. Let's get a good look right there.
Ooh.
Still can't tell because the player was on top of him, but I'm going to trust the official.
So instead of 3rd down at about 1, it's going to be 3rd down at about 6.
Keep your eye on Sadler.
That highly talented freshman, farthest wide receiver on your screen, left side. Mumfield. Flag stops it. False start, Cass Tech.
You gotta love big number 15, Brendan Wright. He thought he was gonna have a sack on that play if they did not blow that whistle. He looked a little frustrated after that whistle blew. He's excited, man.
Well, he's still gonna have a shot here to rush the passer. It's 3rd down 11, and you know Cass Tech is throwing here.
Yeah,
let's watch it again.
Yeah, watch 15 at your top of your screen. A nice little move. Look at it, wide open. But, you know, did the lineman give up hearing the whistle? So it's one of those things, but his eyes must have been huge turning that corner.
3rd down 11 for Cass Tech with just over 2 minutes to go in the first half. Mumfield, quick drop, throwing over the middle. It's caught and with room. First down Cass Tech. It's the senior Javin Sewell.
And Sewell's already had a touchdown in this game. A beautiful diving catch to kick off everything on Thursday night. And that was a great play in traffic. I didn't think he could get the first down here. Makes up 10 yards on his own. That's a nice catch and turn and run, beating 4 defenders right in the middle.
Inside the 40 goes Cass Tech. Now let's keep in mind here that the technicians only have 1 timeout, and there's under 100 seconds to go in the half. Southfield A&T has a couple left. Keep that in mind, too. Give. Hodges. Right side. Room. Sean Hodges made the man miss. Kiss him goodbye. Touchdown, Cass Tech. That is pure raw speed from Sean Hodges.
Woo! And did you see that wiggle at the end, too? The Southfield A&T defender had a beat on him, but that little stutter step and able to accelerate again to get into the end zone. And that's Hodges' 2nd touchdown of the day. You got to remember, he had that long kick return on Thursday night, too. So, man, he could bookend it together. And you see, when this guy gets into open space, it almost looked like an RPO here. Quarterback, a delayed handoff, just reading the defensive end. Then he saw his man could outrun everybody. And when you can't catch that angle on a guy, you know they're super fast.
Cass Tech, before trying the PAT, which would make it a 2-score game, calls time. The last one they've got. So Hodges in. We have restarted the game with more fireworks.
Man, that kid is fast.
Oh, my goodness.
I was rewatching the replay again on our little monitor screen here, and 4 people had the angle on him, and he was just able to outrun them all. And that's when you're special, when you have that extra gear, right? Look at this. Look at that. The angle there, and they just cannot catch him. I think getting him the ball on the edge is something that you should do more often.
It seems like a decent idea, Stick.
Yes. We also got to give a shout out to the G brand. They are here, and once again, thank them for making this broadcast possible today. So without them, nobody be able to watch this great football that we're witnessing here live. Everybody has to watch on YouTube right now.
Yeah, it's an exciting day in the world of football. Week 0 in college. We actually have a Big Ten game going on today, Nebraska Northwestern. But I have to imagine a few extra people are watching this game.
Did you see the cup snake that they had going on at that Nebraska game?
I did.
My goodness.
You're telling me they like to drink in Ireland?
A little bit. And I'm Irish.
Sanchez swings his right leg through it, and the PAT is good for Cass Tech. That is a big PAT. It's now a 2-score game and a 9-point lead.
Yeah, and Cass Tech had been struggling to hit their extra points. He had missed 2 of them early on Thursday, and then they switched to going for 2. And rumor is he's the best kicker that Cass Tech has had in their history. He's only a sophomore, so looking forward to seeing more out of him.
They say that this is a game of inches, but I disagree. This is a game of desire and will. 4 quarters of epic drama that plays out in real time right before our very eyes. And every season begins the same way, with a desire to win. Those with the will to put in the effort and time put themselves in the best position to achieve their desire. This is why we go to work early and come home late. Why we go so hard and why we put in all these hours. Because we have the desire to be great and the will to become everything we dreamed of and more. So when the drama's thick and it comes down to just those few precious inches, we have no doubt what the outcome will be. Because we have the will to outwork anyone to get what we desire. It doesn't matter if it's inches or 100 yards. We want it more, and we're going to take it. That's game.
Back to action here at Southfield A&T High. Sean Hodges just ran for a touchdown. Cass Tech made the PAT to make it a 9-point game. Sanchez was about to kick. Have another flag. That's a false start, and we just move it back 5 yards.
I think in the scheme of things, this is going to set a record in many ways. Maybe points scored, definitely the length of the game from start to finish going in the course of a weekend, and penalties got to be creeping up. We got to get with Pat the stat to see how many penalties have been called in this game.
And let's be fair, there's always a few more penalties in the
Week
first
1.
game of the year.
Yep.
There will not be this many penalties in the middle of October. Sanchez kicking it again. Likes to punch it on the ground. Southfield A&T with a chance to return. Bringing it up the middle with a lot of room. Across midfield they come. And they'll start in good field position after Royce Liggins got that ball across midfield. All right, Stick, so there's time to work here for Southfield A&T. There's 1:13 on the clock, a couple of timeouts. We know by now that these two teams can score in the blink of an eye, but offensive game plan strategy here, what are you thinking if you're Southfield A&T?
Well, Marshall's kind of been the key to the game for them. He's been getting it done with his legs on a lot of their big plays. So if I'm Cass Tech, I'm definitely trying to contain him. But they've been doing a good job of anytime that defensive line rushes past him, he's taking off and using his legs to get those first downs. So as long as he could stay accurate, I talked about those slant passes that were working over the middle. And outside of that, I would not run at Cass Tech.
Isaiah throws. Pass caught. Dunton with a flag.
And that flag will be number 23 on the day.
That's insane.
Or on the game.
That was C.J. Sadler helping to push Dunton out of bounds. But there was a flag in that area. It's going to be on A&T, an offensive face mask.
You don't see that often.
I was about to say, check that one off your bingo board. You don't see that one often.
You know, they normally let you get away with a little bit, but he must have, like, closed his fingers around the mask. Because if you just keep it flat on the mask, you're allowed to do that all day long.
What do you like in this offensive line for Southfield A&T?
All of it, the size, the strength. I mean, these guys, they're big fellas, man. They are out here putting in the work. And, you know, that was part of our pregame from Thursday night was just they have to control the line of scrimmage, especially against a Cass Tech team with the bookends that they have on defensive ends.
Keep an eye on number 6, Jawan Jarrett as well. Transfer from River Rouge.
Yeah, a couple nice transfers for Southfield A&T, and you're talking about how that can expedite your program growing in a hurry if you get one or two of those really good guys. And you mentioned Zavi Bowman coming over from Brother Rice, not only a great football player but a great basketball player as well.
Brother Rice dropped their season opener a couple of days ago to Macomb, Dakota. Nolan Ray, Brother Rice's really good running back, didn't play in that game.
He lives in my neighborhood.
Now you know. Marshall brought down in the backfield. It's a sack for Cass Tech and Sewell.
Sewell is putting his imprint on this game on both sides of the ball. There, he was just able to beat the blocker, and I don't know if that was a missed assignment, but yeah, they let him run free, and that is not the guy you want because he could track down your quarterback at any time.
Marshall on second down, and I don't know how many. Going deep, far side, incomplete. Oh, Bowman had a step, but it was off his face mask.
Yeah, Arshawn Thornton right there on the defense, and he was beat. That throw was a little bit behind, but I thought Thornton did a good job of making up that ground, getting his hand up just in time and making that catch pretty much impossible. But what about the gun on Marshall? My goodness, what a throw.
That's why once upon a time, Jim Harbaugh saw a barely teenaged Isaiah Marshall and gave him a scholarship. Offer, anyway.
Be physical.
It is 3rd down and 34. Southfield A&T has to reach the 36 of Cass Tech. I think I did my math wrong. It's actually 3rd down and 36. We'll keep it on the ground. Playing it conservatively. Cass Tech does not have any timeouts left. Southfield A&T electing to bring this one to the locker room. In case you're wondering, we are expecting a full halftime, even though we restarted this game over halfway into the second quarter. We finally reached halftime in a football game that is exciting in more ways than one. Cass Tech, in the restart of this ball game, got a 40-yard touchdown run from Sean Hodges on the right side, and a 2-possession lead, as we'll start the second half in just a little bit. We're back.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here again with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. Did you know that kids are not little adults when it comes to sports injuries? That's because of something called the growth plate. Growth plates exist all over the human body in our growing athletes. They're actually little cartilage discs that exist at the end of all the long bones. It's simply where a kid grows. The problem is that the growth plate can be the weak link. What might be a sprain, a strain, or a tear in an adult when they hurt themselves can actually be a growth plate fracture in a kid. So it's important, if your kid has hurt themselves and they're not using their arm or they're not able to put weight on a leg, come see one of us, get an x-ray, and make sure it's not a growth plate fracture. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
They say that this is a game of inches, but I disagree. This is a game of desire and will. 4 quarters of epic drama that plays out in real time right before our very eyes. And every season begins the same way, with a desire to win. Those with the will to put in the effort and time put themselves in the best position to achieve their desire. This is why we go to work early and come home late. Why we go so hard and why we put in all these hours. Because we have a desire to be great and the will to become everything we dreamed of and more. So when the drama's thick and it comes down to just those few precious inches, we have no doubt what the outcome will be. Because we have the will to outwork anyone to get what we desire. It doesn't matter if it's inches or 100 yards. We want it more, and we're going to take it. That's game.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. We all know that our wives and daughters deserve special attention, but that's especially true when it comes to their knees. Do you know that females are at a 2 to 5 times risk compared to their male counterparts when it comes to blowing out their knees? It doesn't seem fair, but it's true. The reasons include the way females are made and the way they fire their muscles. But fortunately, there are injury prevention programs out there that can greatly decrease this risk of injury. And if you do know a female who blows out her ACL, don't despair. We have neat, innovative, minimally invasive ways to fix their knees and get them back onto the field. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
There are very few traditions in our country as enduring, engaging, and meaningful as high school football on Friday nights. Every Friday night in the fall, about 7,000 high school football games involving more than 1 million student athletes are held from coast to coast. Football has been a part of our nation's high schools for more than 100 years. High school football fosters a strong sense of community. It is the most popular boys' sport and is our nation's #1 spectator sport. The people in the stands aren't just fans. They're moms and dads, grandparents, sisters and brothers. They're local store owners and neighbors from down the street. They're former players and coaches. And their fellow students. Win or lose, their support and pride for their school and community are always there. Why play high school football? High school football equips young people for success in both the classroom and in life by inspiring character, leadership, resilience, teamwork, discipline, physical fitness, time management, community engagement, and other important life skills. Also through football, students develop essential skills for participating in other sports during the winter and spring seasons. The sport of football provides opportunities for students with any skill and size. The relationships, bonds, and camaraderie built both on and off the field will last a lifetime. The health and safety of students is a paramount goal of high school football. Like other contact sports, there is an inherent risk in playing football. However, the NFHS wants parents to know that we believe high school football is safer today than it ever has been. The following steps have been taken to create a safer high school football experience. Concussion awareness and management protocols for football, education and professional development for football coaches, football injury surveillance and research studies, restrictions on helmet-to-helmet contact hits and blindside blocks, limits on contact in football practice, risk minimization focus by the NFHS Football Rules Committee, ongoing improvements in football equipment, emergency action plans and AEDs in place and ready to use in schools nationwide. As it has been for many years, high school football continues to be a significant part of communities across the country. The NFHS is committed to keeping the lights on and keeping the game as safe as possible for the millions of kids who will play for years to come. Contact your local middle school or high school to learn more and sign up to play football today.
We're back at Southfield A&T High in part 2 of Cass Tech Southfield A&T. The resumption of this ball game is at halftime. They are taking a full halftime. There's still about 7 minutes to go until we start the second half. Evan, Stick, Lexi back with you. Thanks for watching wherever you may be. Cass Tech's got a 33-24 lead. Not as many fireworks, Stick, as we obviously saw in part 1 of this game a couple of days ago. Sean Hodges did run for a 28-yard touchdown for Cass Tech, and they made the extra point to make it a 2-possession game. You know, what was interesting to me watching the end of part 2 of the first half, before the game, Cass Tech's head coach Marvin Rushing told Lexi, I think the thing we need to fix is we're not getting enough pressure on their offensive line. I think our defensive line should win. Well, already in part 2 of this game, they've had a couple of sacks. Good pressure defensively.
Yeah, and that's something you didn't see on Thursday night. So I'm glad the coach addressed it. And it's interesting, you know, you get 15 minutes at halftime normally. You don't normally get, 36 hours to draw up your adjustments and go back and watch the film. And I wonder how much the coaches did that, right? You know, you have the film, you have the first quarter and a half. How much time did they invest in that to make these adjustments coming in today? And, you know, going back to the very first play of the game for Southfield A&T, they come out, they have their plan, penalty, kind of throws them off. Then they get another penalty, or then Cass Tech gets another penalty, and now it's back to the original play call. But I think missing that early opportunity to tie the game up really has already had an impact on where we're at now, because now you see one score. Now it's a 9-point game. All of a sudden it's a 2-score game instead of just, oh, we're right there tied with them.
Yeah, what's interesting as well about this game, remember when we were playing on Thursday night, it was in the evening. It was a warm day on Thursday, but it cooled off, rained a little bit Thursday night, so that helped cool things off. It is not cold here today. We're sitting in the 80s, Stick. We are playing on turf in front of the bright sun on a Saturday, late afternoon, into the early evening. Think that'll affect things at all in the second half, maybe? Cramps or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's the first week of the season, so normally this is what you see in Michigan high school football because of the weather and what we deal with. But you will see which teams have been conditioning, which teams have been putting in that off-season work. And, you know, obviously they're not playing an entire full-length game today, but you're right. You're out here. The sun is beating down. There's absolutely no shade. And when you step out in that sun, it's almost an instant sweat.
What you also don't see is that our broadcast position is directly in the sun. I have had to wear my sunglasses, and I made the mistake of wearing a black shirt.
We're going to get through this, I promise you.
You know what? It's a long season. Hopefully by the next couple of weeks, I will learn when it's warm outside. Don't wear a black shirt, you know?
Right.
You think I would have learned this by now?
Well, you know, G-Brand, I'm sure will hook you up with a brand new one. Like, I got the gray boy on right now, and we have some white shirts in here, some nice hats, and they do all the apparel for the prep. And once again, we got to show them tremendous love specifically for this broadcast, because not only are they a sponsor for the prep full-time, but this game would not be able to be seen by public eyes if it wasn't for G-Brand stepping in and paying for the entire broadcast. So these guys would be out here just playing. Nobody be able to watch because they weren't allowing any fans or any family into the stands. And you see there's actually police officers here, 4 of them, just sitting in the away stands enjoying the game. But they're here.
Well, you brought up the environment, right? It is a little odd. We are finally back used to full crowds and environment and atmospheres again. Well, this environment with barely anybody here feels like when we were calling hoops and football games during COVID. It's sports at its purest form. It's a little weird, but honestly, it's kind of a little cool to see the game in this setting.
Yeah, and it levels it out, definitely. You know, there is no real home field advantage for either side because you're not getting the crowd behind you, and it makes you have to be a self-motivator, a self-pump-up guy and get out there and do it because you're not relying on your fans behind you. You're not relying on your mom in the stand. You're not relying on your girlfriend in the stand to point up to. And, you want to show out for those people. Now it's all about showing out for yourself and your teammates.
If they're smart, they're watching us on Gridiron Game Day on the prep. Let's hit a break. Come on back and get you the second half. Southfield A&T and Cass Tech resuming the game from Thursday night. It's been a fun one so far, and we expect a fun second half in just a little bit.
Say that this is a game of inches, but I disagree. This is a game of desire and will. 4 quarters of epic drama that plays out in real time right before our very eyes. And every season begins the same way, with a desire to win. Those with the will to put in the effort and time put themselves in the best position to achieve their desire. This is why we go to work early and come home late. Why we go so hard and why we put in all these hours. Because we have a desire to be great and the will to become everything we dreamed of and more. So when the drama's thick and it comes down to just those few precious inches, we have no doubt what the outcome will be. Because we have the will to outwork anyone to get what we desire. It doesn't matter if it's inches or 100 yards. We want it more, and we're going to take it. That's game.
All right, this is Adam, take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Back at Southfield A&T High School, about to start the second half of this resumed game. Cass Tech leading Southfield A&T 33-24. When we restarted this game, it was 26-24, so we got to give you the couple of highlights that we did get in the final 5 minutes and change of the first half. Stick, what are we watching?
You are watching Sean Hodges, if you can keep your eyes on him. I'm just going to start calling him the Flash. I don't know if he's got a nickname. I don't know him like that personally, but man, this guy, when he gets out on the edge, he is faster than everybody on the field. And then you get a nice look at what the Cass Tech coach was talking about. They need to get pressure on the quarterback. They do it right there. Big number 3, Javen Sewell, who already has a touchdown reception in this game, doing it on both sides of the ball for Cass Tech.
Southfield A&T heading back on the field in the sharp unis. The white numbers against a navy blue jersey that make broadcasters everywhere happy. And red jerseys, red helmets that are gleaming in the sunny Saturday sun. Cass Tech easy to spot in the traditional road whites with the green numbers and the very familiar green helmets with the interlocking silver C and T. Although we resumed the game with barely under half the second quarter to go and a full 15-minute halftime, the time-honored old-school high school tradition ensues. Everyone's late on the field, and we have to add 3 minutes before starting the second half.
You know, if we were on time, it would scare me about this game. You know, because I don't know, you probably don't remember because you weren't there Thursday night, but Cass Tech literally rolled up right at 7 o'clock. They got off the bus on the field. I was wondering, are they going to give them time to do some calisthenics, do some warm-up? But nope, they walked out right into the coin toss and started playing football. We didn't know if that was a little mental game that they were playing, making your opponent wait. It didn't seem to affect them because they came out and drove right down the field.
As we approach the start of the second half here, Stick, it gives us a chance to kind of look at the landscape at large when you think about both of these teams. You know, Lexi was talking earlier on in the broadcast about how Southfield A&T has moved divisions in the OAA, expected to really compete in their side of that conference this year. And as for Cass Tech, obviously every year the games you highlight are when they play Detroit King, usually once in the regular season and then once in the Detroit Public School League championship game. That first Cass King game is coming at the end of next month in September. That game's scheduled to take place at Cass Tech. When you look at the state at large, when you look at both of these teams, what do you think their ceilings are? How far do you think they can go?
You know, you really can't tell with these teams because they have the athletic ability, right? It just depends on can they grow throughout the season? How are they clicking going into the playoffs? Because they both can do it. Both of these teams could make it all the way to the state championship game, make it to Ford Field. It's just going to take some growth. It's going to take them playing together as a team. But as far as athleticism and how they match up with people, they can match up with anybody in the state.
I mean, you talk about some of the names. Cass Tech at the quarterback spot, Lee Sean Mumfield just is slinging it to guys like Sewell and Sadler, and we just saw Hodges run for the touchdown with that blazing speed. And the complement of stars for Southfield A&T, Isaiah Marshall is blessed with Bowman and Braceful and Jarrett and Javin Jones, Burt at the running back spot. We expected offense in this game, and that is exactly what we have gotten with still at least one more half of football to go.
Yeah, and really, Southfield A&T has been able to stay in this game with a couple defensive plays. They had 2 interceptions on Thursday night, and that kind of stemmed the scoring for Cass Tech. But now you see Cass Tech kind of applying that pressure, keeping it on, and this is now a 2-score game that Southfield A&T is chasing. That's kind of an uphill battle if you can't stop Cass Tech without forcing a turnover.
33-24 our score. As you can see, we are finally about to start the second half.
And we got to give a shout out to the fans that are outside the stadium, just sitting under the trees by, what is that, 10 Mile right there?
Yeah. That is outstanding.
Yeah.
Hopefully they have our broadcast pulled up so we can give them a little extra info.
A little play-by-play action going on.
Right. Southfield A&T back in the field. They are going to get the ball to start the second half. Number 9, Javin Jones, the returner on the far side of your screen. We'll see Jawan Jarrett, number 6, in a second. He's on the near side.
And the kicking game for both of these teams is, I mean, if we're going to talk about one spot that's lacking for both of these special teams, not on the return side, but definitely on the kicking side. Both teams have been struggling with it during this game. Short kickoffs, squib kicks. They've been trying everything just to try to keep the ball beyond the 40-yard line for the other team.
Now, you were talking earlier about the confidence that the technicians have in their kicker, George Sanchez.
Yes.
Who just made a big extra point to make it a 2-score game as the first half was winding down.
Yeah, we were told that he's the best kicker in Cass Tech history. And, you know, he's got 3 more years to prove it, and we'll see it.
Well, he's about to kick off the second half after one of the weirder first halves ever. Let's see what the second half brings. It's a pop-up kick. Davis Fields on the run, and he is pummeled right around the 35-yard line. So Southfield A&T did get one final drive as we closed out that first half, but a big sack and a big loss put them behind the chains really quickly, and they tried a 2-point conversion that didn't work. What do you think the game plan is for them, Stick, as we start the second half and they try to get back in this game?
Well, really, I mentioned it in the first half, is those slant patterns over the middle have really worked for them, and Marshall getting going with his legs, too. I know he's a team guy, pass-first guy, but he may have to have a shorter clock here in that second half. Just pull it down, get the yards when you can.
So the Warriors come back in the field. Isaiah Marshall, the gunslinger who has been known to many for years. He'll start alone in the gun. Stepping away from pressure. Up the middle he goes. Isaiah's not going to get the first down as a couple of technicians trip him up. But, Stick, you were alluding to this in the first half. So many people talk about the rocket right arm for Isaiah, but he can do this too.
Yeah, and he chooses not to. You know, like I said, he's more of a team guy. He wants to get other people involved, but that's there for him every single time. And when they man up like that, the middle of the field is going to be wide open for him, and it has been. You saw it on the touchdown run on Thursday night. You see it right there. That's a nice pickup on first down. 2nd and 3, you can do a lot of things with.
Keeping you ahead of the chains, as every coach will tell you. We don't want to be behind the chains. Let's stay on schedule. Exactly. Exactly. That's not going to keep you on schedule. A plow right into the middle of the line, and Javin Jones barely gained an inch. So now, Stick, you play offensive coordinator. What are you calling here, 3rd down short?
3rd down and short, I'm going to try to get the ball in space to one of my athletes, maybe a little flare pass here into the flat, and hopefully, you know, they can make a move. But that's been the problem with Southfield A&T. We saw it on their 2-point conversion. Running up the middle against Cass Tech it's not the answer. I'm telling you that right now. Those are some big horses that Cass Tech has up there, and 2 of them are Division I commits.
Every year, Cass Tech known for its skill players, but their offensive and defensive line should never take a back seat. 3rd down 3.
Stay in it.
Marshall keeps, runs, fights out of 1 and 2 tackles. That is a rugby scrum near the line to gain, and they're going to give it to him right at the 45. What an effort by Isaiah Marshall.
And the lineman that got behind him to push that. My goodness. That's pure strength right there. Strength on strength, and they needed every inch of that push to pick up the first down, but here they are moving the chains.
All right, let's try to keep an eye on Marshall amidst this massive humanity.
Look at the legs, just keep churning and churning and churning. Big number 75, Isaiah Williams in there helping out too.
Needed every extra centimeter to keep the drive alive for Southfield A&T.
Come up, Cassius! Matt, come up! Right there.
Snap to him near his left kneecap. Stepping up in the pocket with a flag down. He is brought down just across the line to gain, just across the line of scrimmage, should say. Anderson made the tackle. Let's check the flag.
It's looking like it's going to be a holding call on Cass Tech. That's why Marshall had to pull it down and run with it. He was looking for the out route right there, but nope, not there because of a hold. Going to try to step up in the pocket. So Cass Tech, another penalty.
There you go. Hold on, Cass Tech.
You didn't trust me?
I did. When have I never trusted you, buddy? Just a friendly reminder for you as you really restart your high school football watching habits here in the state of Michigan. The only time there is ever an automatic first down is anything that starts with roughing. Roughing the passer, roughing the kicker. Everything else is not an automatic first down. You just mark off the yardage and see where it goes. It is a first down. Marshall throwing right, and it's caught. Slipping a tackle with room. Jawan Jarrett down near the 20.
And that has been their go-to guy for Southfield A&T, but there's some more laundry on the field.
Oh, my goodness. Nate Green, number 72, is just furious. Here's the replay.
He's pleading to his coach. But I wonder what the call is. That was a great play by Southfield A&T.
Really was. All right, so Aaron Marshall, the head coach for Southfield A&T, is on the field talking to the officials, who, if they're paid by flag, congratulations, you are making quite the payday. All right, so they just called on sportsmanlike conduct on Southfield A&T. Now, we can't hear here in the broadcast booth what the number is, but judging by his reaction, number 72, Nate Green, did something that wasn't right.
But back to your point, it looks like they're going to give them the first down as well, because this is going to come off the end of the play, not the spot of the foul. So we have a 1st and 5.
Just in case, like, this game wasn't weird enough, right? There are so many moving parts, it's like a bad chess game.
Oh, nice 1st and 5 for him. Or are they going to give him the first? Oh, there we go.
Now,
1st and 10.
all right,
there
here we go. Now we're going to move the chains.
My goodness.
Watch the wheel, Caleb.
Keep an eye on Jarrett. He has been getting the ball a ton.
There's Burt bouncing off one tackle and another flag.
And now we got holding on the outside. So I believe we're around 27 penalties so far in this game.
Believe the holding was on 70, the left tackle Aaron Bradley. There he is, left side of your screen.
These guys are getting physical with it, though. You saw it, too, on Thursday night. Sadler had a nice hit before he went out of bounds, and he stepped over the Southfield A&T player and got a penalty called on him. You could tell these two teams, there's a little bit of something between them. You know, last year, Cass Tech really took it to Southfield A&T, and I think Southfield A&T wanted a little get back this year.
Well, I'd have to think Southfield A&T wants to take a backseat to nobody with all the skill players they have, all the talent they have. But they know the hurdles they've got to get over include teams like Cass Tech, which has been one of the best programs in the state of Michigan ever. Marshall keeps, running left, a lot of room. Isaiah Marshall tumbling down after a couple of shimmies and a couple of shakes, down to the 35, and a really nice gain for Southfield A&T after first down and forever.
And we mentioned it earlier, how Marshall, could take over the game with his legs. He really is reluctant to when he's passing the ball, but now you're starting to see a coach for Southfield A&T draw a play specifically for him to get going with his legs. I think they feel, as well as we were talking earlier, that's their best chance to make some moves against this Cass Tech defense.
This drive for Southfield A&T is the only drive for either team in the second half. We're nearly 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. By both these team standards, this is a long drive. Marshall throws, caught into the waiting arms of Dunton. Pretty darn close to another first down.
And I like that play. A nice, easy timing route, get your quarterback in rhythm. We really haven't seen him make a ton of completions in this game today. We saw him doing it on Thursday night. But getting him back in rhythm is going to be super important for Southfield A&T to stay in this game going down the stretch.
It's not first down. It's third down and 1. More like third down inches. Davis, the back behind Marshall in the pistol.
This is when it's tough, though, to pick this up against Cass Tech because you can't run right at them. They're gonna, though.
Marshall, great keep. Isaiah Marshall, first down. Isaiah Marshall tackled down at the 10.
And once again, a design play call to get Marshall the ball on the edge, and he fooled me. I thought they were going to try to run right at the Cass Tech defense. That fake handoff got me. You got to sell out for that on third and short like that, but Marshall just using his legs again. And you know what? If you got a weapon like it, keep using it, right? Don't tuck it away. Let Marshall run.
What's the old phrase, if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
Yeah.
Well, it's not broken. They're not fixing it. They gave Marshall the 11 instead of the 10, so Southfield A&T can get a first down without scoring a touchdown. Give Jones. They did try the middle that time, and stick, as you called, not a good decision. They barely gained anything.
I mean, as a color commentator, what do you want me to say?
I mean, sometimes there is the beauty in just, laying out.
But I also get why you do that, right? You got to keep the defense honest, because if you give up on it, then you're very predictable. But, man, it's got to be a tough pill to swallow knowing I'm calling a run-up-the-middle play against Cass Tech.
When you got Williams and Green in the middle at 295 and 275, good luck. Marshall over the middle, incomplete, and a flag. 3 of them. Tashi Braceville was tackled as he tried to make the catch.
And look at Tashi Braceville gets up and does the feed me sign to the coach, looks back at the sideline. You can tell he wants the ball. He really has been quiet so far in this game, and we expected him to be a show-out wide receiver for Southfield A&T. So I love that hunger. Turn to the coach and say, feed me, coach. I had him beat on that slant. They stay on him. Look at him. Get up. Wait for it. Feed me. Give me that ball, coach.
Almost 5 o'clock. Almost dinner time.
Time to eat.
Guy's hungry. Come on now.
And we'll see if they go back to those slant passes, because they have been able to get those timing routes down against Cass Tech.
Southfield A&T knocking on the door. Marshall keeps the legs churning, spinning inside the 5. Remember, they can get a first down without scoring a touchdown. So Southfield A&T, usually you think goal to go, but it's not. Good job by Cass Tech swarming to the ball and stopping Marshall. Third down short, Stick. What are you calling if you're A&T?
Well, there's a lot of space towards us near the end of the field to the right side of the offense. I would try to get my man Jarrett in some space, maybe get him out there and let him use his athleticism.
Tashi Braceville also one-on-one.
Yeah, he's alone down there, too. Maybe a jump ball.
Fumbled the snap. Southfield A&T appeared to find the football.
Looked like a white jersey was able to hop on it at the end.
What a disaster that would be.
Wait for the officials.
All right, so Marshall, it looks like, and his teammates are going to keep the ball.
All right, looks like it's staying with Southfield A&T.
Well, I ask you the same question here. Now what do you call as the situation changes again?
I would still stick with it. It looked like they were going to do another little quarterback option, either hand off to the running back or let Marshall keep it. But I'm still saying use a lot of this space down at the end of the field.
All right, so on the field, they have 3rd down.
It should be 4th.
Yeah. And no one has noticed. Marshall looking right, pumping, throwing, caught for a touchdown with another flag. Jared made the catch, but I don't know if it's going to stand.
No, it's a holding. Well, holding on Cass Tech.
It is going to stand. Doesn't matter what down it was. Southfield A&T just got 6 with Jarrett.
Yeah, I was confused because the ref that threw the flag did not give the touchdown sign. So you assumed it was against Southfield A&T, but then he pointed, gave the sign. Now, Southfield A&T traditionally does not kick extra points. They always go for 2. What a great bump, rub, whatever you want to call that play. It's legal, but it's bending the rules a little bit. It's putting traffic in the way of the defender, but totally legal in football.
You got to be careful with how you do it. Some craftsmanship to it, you know?
Yeah. You stop your route right in front of them. You don't run through them. But that's great coaching. That's great play design.
Offensive coordinator Richie Pop has it dialed in for Southfield A&T. They're going for 2. Marshall, throw and left, right back to the same guy. Jarrett's got it for 2 and a 1-point game.
And what a great play design on that. I'm surprised they didn't come out with that to start the game. You ran Jarrett completely across the field, making his defender fight through all of the coverage to get to him, and you can't keep up with that pace. Jarrett is just too fast if you're running a guy through all of that traffic.
I mean, he's such an outstanding athlete, and he can also hide stick because at 5'9", 165, it's tough to find him until it's too late.
Yeah, and you see number 4 not getting into the screen till way late on that because he was in the back of the end zone trying to clear through all that traffic. Great play call by Southfield A&T.
So there's the response they needed. Cass Tech has not touched the football here in the second half. It's a 1-point game with 4:57 on the clock in the 3rd. On that drive, Isaiah Marshall, 3 for 5, 34 yards. Also carried it 4 times for 46 yards.
Pretty responsible for all of their offense on that, but that's what you do. You know, you kind of want to reverse engineer it with Marshall. You tried it with his arm, and it worked. We're staying in the game, but you see when he gets it going with his legs, then you go back to the pass, and it's more effective.
So Southfield A&T is going to kick from midfield. Will they actually try to kick it into the end zone or squib it or do something interesting?
Well, they were popping it up around like the 25-yard line earlier. Then they tried to squib. So, yep, here they are back with the squib.
Cass Tech will get good field position out of this. Bumped out of bounds just shy of the 40. All right, let's go down to the sidelines. 3rd member of our crew, Lexi Ayala.
Thanks, Evan. Southfield sure does have the weight of high expectations on their shoulders, not just for this game, but for their entire season. Last year, they went 2-7 overall in the OAA Red, arguably the hardest football conference in the state of Michigan because of their struggles last year. This season, they're moved to the OAA White, where honestly, they're expected to dominate, especially bringing back 8 starters from last year's lineup. All of those 8 now juniors, and all of them with multiple Division I college offers. So we'll see if head coach Aaron Marshall's confidence in the togetherness and cohesion of this squad can actually bring them all the way to playoffs. Evan?
Lex, thanks. That's a great point you bring up about the competition for Southfield A&T. Their record was deceiving last year. They were in a lot of games. Umfield brings down the high snap, and that kind of busted the play from the get-go. Hodges can only get a couple. Last year, Stick, the game for Southfield A&T that really sticks in your mind's eye. Last game of the year, they were 2-6, no chance to make the playoffs. They play a great River Rouge team and lose by a point when River Rouge scored a touchdown and got 2-point conversion with 30 seconds to go in the game. These guys have got the talent, and they're hoping this year it all comes together for them.
Yeah, and I don't want to equate them to the Lions because of the Lions' history, and I don't want to put that on Southfield A&T, but you kind of saw that last year with the Lions too, right? You know, the start of the season, they were growing as a team. They started getting tougher and tougher and tougher, and that's what you're seeing with Southfield A&T.
Have you been watching Hard Knocks? Don't you believe in Dan Campbell?
Oh, I believe in so much in Dan Campbell.
Mumfield down the middle, it's caught. Southfield A&T gets to the football quickly. And they bring him down after the whistle. No flag, so it's going to be 3rd down. That was Sadler on the catch.
And that's the first time he's touched the ball today on the offensive side. And if you get him in space, he is explosive. I was talking about it the other day. For a 14-year-old to be out here competing with these 18-year-olds, guys that are committed to D1 schools, I just think about the 13-year-olds that he was terrorizing last year in whatever league he was playing in. My goodness.
Did they let him play in an 8th grade league?
You have to, right? They have like a special elite 8th grade league.
That's a name the state of Michigan. If they don't know it by now, they're going to know it. 3rd down for Cass Tech. Mumfield off shotgun snap. Throwing to Hodges. He's got the 1st down. And he's tripped up by his shoelaces. Oh, boy. If Devon Buskin didn't get his fingertips to him, he may still be running.
My goodness. And he still beats the angle on that. The defender has the angle right here. He's on him. But look how fast that burst just to get by him and beat that angle of pursuit. That is so impressive to see.
Sean Hodges plays the game of football on turbo. He plays the entire game with his finger holding down the right trigger.
He is very fast.
Already run for a couple of touchdowns in this game. In the restart of this game, on Cass Tech's first drive, he ran for a 28-yard touchdown. Technicians moving again. They're at the 40 of A&T. And another flag. We went like 4 plays without one. I knew it was too good to be true.
It was progress. Little by little, we'll get there. By the 4th quarter, it's going to be a clean 4th quarter. I'm predicting that right now.
We appreciate the positivity.
Yeah, anytime.
So we got a penalty on Cass Tech. It's going to back them up 5.
Let's go, Brendan.
It'll be 1st down and 15 for Cass Tech. Big tight end Kamari Anderson on the left side of the formation. He is 6'5", 220.
He's kind of been their safety valve.
Field with time, long throw, caught again, climbing the ladder, Sadler, another nice catch. Ooh, and a little step over.
I'm telling you, this kid comes with attitude and all the talent that you can handle. You know, he's not very tall, but you watch him go up and get this ball over the defender. There's not much he can't do, and I've only watched him this one game. I cannot wait to see the next 4 years.
Watch right there, you see that?
Oh yeah, he did that on Thursday night too. Got a penalty for it on Thursday night. There, was able to get away with it.
Someone clip that up and send it to AI. Don't send it to Tyronn Lue though. Not sure if he's healed that wound yet. Coming down the wire in the 3rd quarter. Big drive for Cass Tech. Field puts down the snap. Hodges, room, darting back. Dragging tacklers inside the 20. And Cass Tech buzzing again because Sean Hodges is just running like a man possessed.
And you were talking about playing with the turbo button down. This is you hit the L or the R1 button. You slide to your right and make 2 defenders miss. Watch it. Whoop! Right there. 2 guys miss. My goodness. Not only does he have the speed, but you see he's got that footwork to get by defenders if he's facing them head on.
Patient drive for Cass Tech. Both of these teams have been patient in the 3rd quarter. You're under a minute to go in it already. Hodges the back on Mumfield's right. He's swinging out to Sadler. Made a man miss. Got to open space. And he's finally brought down shy of the 5.
It's a highlight reel every time he touches the ball. You were right. Made a man miss. Then he takes a huge hit, but he's got the balance and the wherewithal and the strength to absorb it. Put his hand down, hit that coffee grinder move that we all did in camp, and pick up the 1st down. Look at that. My goodness, that is a 14-year-old.
Insane. Cass Tech knocking on the door again. Give Hodges. Running right. Lowering the left shoulder. Not going to get there. Second down and goal.
You like that play, though. Get Hodges on the outside. You've seen he's been able to break some tackles, make some guys miss. You want to give him the opportunity. Let the big fella eat when you get that close in the red zone.
Cass Tech can take it to the fourth quarter if they want to, and that's what they're going to do. They'll have second down and goal in a fourth quarter that we've been waiting nearly 48 hours for. Sean Hodges just got the carry and was stopped short. Southfield A&T needs a couple of more stops like that when we start the fourth after this.
They say that this is a game of inches, but I disagree. This is a game of desire and will. 4 quarters of epic drama that plays out in real time right before our very eyes. And every season begins the same way, with a desire to win. Those with the will to put in the effort and time put themselves in the best position to achieve their desire. This is why we go to work early and come home late. Why we go so hard and why we put in all these hours. Because we have a desire to be great and the will to become everything we dreamed of and more. So when the drama's thick and it comes down to just those few precious inches, we have no doubt what the outcome will be. Because we have the will to outwork anyone to get what we desire. It doesn't matter if it's inches or 100 yards. We want it more, and we're going to take it. That's game.
Welcome back to Southfield High School. I'm Lexi Ayala, where Cass Tech is still leading Southfield, but just by one, 33-32. Talked to Cass Tech's head coach, Marvin Rushing, and he told me before this game that he knows there's loads of talent on this team, but what really matters is the leaders on this team. And he said those leaders are D-line, Jalen Thompson, commit to MSU, Kamari Anderson, tight end, and QB LaShawn Mumfield, of course. All of these leaders are not just leaders because of their talent, but because of the type of people they are. He even said, I would go far as to say that my daughter could date some of these type of guys. Evan, back to you.
Well, Lexi, thank you. LaShawn Mumfield just ran in for Cass Tech and brings up an important extra point. Snap put down and the kick on the way, and it is good. Knocked through by George Sanchez. Cass Tech makes the PAT, but it is still a one-possession game at 40-18. 32, I should say. Here's the touchdown again, stick by Mumfield.
Yeah, look at Mumfield, a nice little quarterback read right there, kind of stealing a playbook out of what Marshall was doing for Southfield A&T. And just able to get the ball in the end zone. Short run, but effective.
So Cass Tech makes it 40-32. Southfield A&T going to get the football. Each team has had the ball at least once here in the second half. They have been content to keep it on the ground. Southfield A&T just had an impressive drive, and here you go. A chance to go down the field, score, and get the 2 to tie the game. And I think, Stick, when we restarted this game about an hour or so ago, I think all they could have asked for here is, okay, fourth quarter, we got the ball, chance to tie the game, we'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, you were down 2. You could have started out as a tie, but being down 1 score and the confidence that they have in their offense, pretty clear. They know they can score on Cass Tech. So really the question is, can you bleed out the clock for 11 minutes and 54 seconds to score and force overtime? Or can you score, get your 2-point conversion, then hold Cass Tech? Because that's been the biggest problem.
Sanchez will kick it. Jones and Jarrett, the men back deep for Southfield A&T. Brief delay here before the kick. One of the technicians had to come off the field. Strong right-legged kick. Jarrett Fields runs up the middle with room. Jawan Jarrett surging across the 40, and Isaiah Marshall in the offense will start with really good field position.
Man, every time Jarrett touches the ball, you got to kind of hold your breath just a little bit. He can always break it, and both sides of the ball have that feature, and it's nice to see, especially on these kickoffs. And we did see a kickoff return on Thursday night.
So Southfield A&T coming back in the field. Another look at that pure raw speed from Jawan Jarrett.
Yeah, if he breaks one more tackle here, he's able to break that. He could have been off to the races.
Special teams for Cass Tech did finally bring him down. Here comes Isaiah Marshall. Last drive, he ran for 46 yards and threw for a touchdown to Jarrett, who has accounted for 20 points for Southfield A&T. Jones on the ground. Good chunk gain on first down, about 4 or 5 yards.
I think that's their best run up the middle of the game so far, 4 yards, and you'll take that against Cass Tech. If you can get that on first down, once we talked about it earlier, you're staying on point, you know, you're staying on schedule. Look at that. I love high school football, man. These kids giving it their all, slamming into each other. They've practiced all offseason for this game.
Doesn't matter if it's game 1 or game 14 and you made the state championship game. The effort never wanes for anyone on that field at this level. Boy, it's so much fun to call. Another run up the middle. Southfield A&T getting a good surge up the middle. Look at that. Javin Jones with a first down. Starting to lean on that D-line for Cass Tech.
Well, you mentioned it earlier. Is the conditioning going to come in? It's now into the fourth quarter, even though it was a short first half here. They've been playing in the sun. Cass Tech is big up front. The one thing that big guys can do is wear down. You brought it up earlier. Is that happening right now? 2 runs right up the middle for a first down would not have happened in the first quarter.
First game of the year, you always get a few cramps and you get a few tired bodies who aren't quite in condition yet. You can do all the conditioning running you want, but there's nothing like playing in an actual game. Davis up the middle. Southfield A&T is just ripping off chunk gains up the middle right now.
And with this now, they kind of set this up with Marshall. You have to respect him on the edge, so you're drawing one defender away from the middle, and that has opened things up. Marshall, with him being able to run like he did in the third quarter, look at fake on it, and you see the end stay there, and you were able to hand it off right underneath him. This is good coaching.
First down 10 for Southfield A&T. Isaiah Marshall in the pistol. Gives to the back behind him, Davis. Cass Tech wasn't letting that run up the middle happen again. They were ready right from the shoot. Jalen Thompson, the first hit.
Yeah, Michigan State commit. Tuck got a good one right there. And how many times were you going to go back to that well before Cass Tech decided, no, no, no. Running up the middle, we got pride too. This is what our defense is known for. You are not going to do this for the entire drive.
So now, after Southfield A&T kept going to that well, do you make an adjustment offensively here after Cass Tech makes that adjustment?
I mean, you have the run-pass option with Marshall, and I think that's what will keep Cass Tech honest. And now that you've run it 3 times, they at least got to respect the handoff up the middle. May open up the edge for Marshall.
Isaiah wants to throw. It's batted down to the line, incomplete. Caleb Richmond, get up and knock it down.
Man, a little bit earlier, he could have had himself an interception. Penalty flag late there. Looks like a personal foul on somebody. Personal foul on Cass Tech. So that will give Southfield A&T a third down when you had them at 3rd and 10.
Man, at the very end of that play, I think I saw a Southfield A&T Warrior shoved by a technician. Just a penalty that Cass Tech cannot afford to make and commit after getting back-to-back good plays against Southfield A&T's offense that is moving here.
Yeah, you started to shore up your defense against the drive, and that's a killer right there. But speaking of keeping the game going and keeping the drive going, once again, we got to shout out G-Brand for making this happen today. Without them and their sponsorship of the broadcast, no one would be able to watch this game right now, except for some of the people that are watching right on 10 Mile.
Marshall spinning away, Throwing down the near sideline, caught. Jawan Jarrett again, inside the 10 for A&T.
Have yourself a game, Mr. Jarrett.
However, there is a flag, and it's going to be a holding on A&T. So this replay will not count, but still fun to watch.
Yeah, that's the one you put on the highlight reel. You send off to the college and don't show the part of the flag.
Yeah.
Because that was a nice rollout, nice throw, nice catch. But penalties, penalties, penalties on both sides of the ball.
To say this game has been clean and well executed would not be true.
So we got 1st and 20 now.
You still throwing the ball? You thinking about running? What do you think?
When I got Marshall at quarterback, I'm throwing the ball, man. That cannon and, you know, maybe a nice little corner route here. I would go for the end zone. This is right about that distance where you can comfortably go for the end zone. The defense has a lot of ground to cover. I'd take a shot.
Let's see what they do. They are trying to take a shot. Marshall down the field with a flag down, incomplete. Bowman the intended target.
That'll be pass interference and a 1st down. But there you go. I mean, you take your shot right there. To me, this is the spot on the field where you do it. You know, normal high school quarterbacks, a 30-yard completion isn't too far out of their range, right? You don't want them launching it from 50. Yeah. But right here, it's a good spot to take it. I'm glad they took the shot. And sometimes this is what happens. Even if you don't complete the pass, you get the penalty.
Hey, don't say it on the mic. I need you to walk your ass away from the goddamn head.
He's got another look at that play. Going to be a flag on Cass Tech, and they'll mark off the yardage. All these flags have started to really halt the pace of the game that was really moving at a nice pace in the 3rd quarter with well-executed plays on both sides offensively.
Yeah, it's fun to watch both these offenses when they get going. It really is. It's been a good game, and I've enjoyed it over the course of 4 days.
We're going to call a bunch of high school football games on Gridiron Game Day all fall for the prep. So be one of the more exciting and unique ones. I already know that.
Yeah, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube page right now to catch all the action.
Marshall throwing, slant, caught, braceful. Tashi won't go down. He is finally down at the 10, but it's 1st down for Southfield A&T.
Yeah, and Tashi Bracewell has kind of been quiet this game. He's their standout wide receiver, and we haven't heard a ton for him. But there, you get him on a nice slant pass, able to get his body inside the defender, and then use his strength right there. You're not going to take me down with one man. Not one.
Of all the weapons that Southfield A&T has, ironically, Bracewell's been the one who hasn't done a whole heck of a lot.
And that's what happens when you have a lot of weapons, though. You know, there's only one football. But I like his matchup here. He's got a shorter cornerback on him. But as we know, Sean Hodges is an athlete.
Marshall throwing through the hands of Jarrett. It's his 1st drop of the game.
And that's not a bad drop, right? That play probably wasn't going to pick up many yards. So if you're going to drop a pass, let that be the one. Great defense by Cass Tech. Way to cover.
That was Nickens defensively doing a really nice job.
Yeah, he's a senior. And you know what it's like senior year. You got to give it your all.
Last time you're playing with your high school teammates. For so many, this is the last level of football they ever play in. Marshall on 2nd down. He's got a lot of time. Now a flag as the time evaporates. He is hit hard at an incomplete pass. Big hit by Chase Parker. Cass Tech's running down the field, but that play was very, very clearly blown dead, and there are multiple flags. One where you usually get holding and one on the far side of the field. There's a lot of moving parts here. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, but the official also threw his beanbag, and that normally means a fumble or a turnover, so they're discussing it right now. One official came in, calling an incomplete pass. I mean, we know it's holding regardless.
I mean, that's smart by Thompson to at least pick it up and start running the other way.
You definitely do that. You make the official tell you to stop.
All right, so we're going to sort all this out at some point. What's our updated flag count? 35?
Yeah, give or take. I mean, there's 2 on this play for different penalties, too, I'm assuming. So they may be offsetting. You got holding on Cass Tech.
And I believe you're going to get holding on Southfield A&T.
Yeah.
There's one hold. All right, so Marshall running for his life. That's a forward pass, incomplete. And Marvin Rushing, the head coach for Cass Tech, is on the field. He wants someone to explain what the heck's going on.
So they keep pointing to the flag that was thrown out by the DB. So I wonder who that holding flag is. We saw the obvious holding by Southfield A&T on the offensive line, but I wonder if there was holding in the defensive backfield for Cass Tech. Holding, Southfield. And that's it. All right, they're just calling holding on Southfield.
So after all of that, they put the ball at the 31-yard line.
So we're looking at 2nd and 20.
Yeah, so 2nd down and 20. Earlier in the game, Southfield A&T had a 3rd down and 36 that they actually almost completed. We have an official count, 32 total penalties.
My goodness. These officials have been working overtime.
We're all working overtime. This game has lasted 2 days, 3 days. Marshall's got the snap, setting up a screen. It's into the hands of Jones, but Cass Tech read that right from the snap. Maybe a yard or 2, and it's going to be 3rd down and very, very long for Southfield A&T.
As a coach, oh, you're screaming to yourself right now. This is the exact right play call. You got the blockers out in front, and look at all 3 of them whiff on the 2 Cass Tech defenders, resulting in a short gain. But man, when you call a play like that as a coach and it works perfectly, but the players can't get their hands on the defenders, that breaks your heart.
So whatever Southfield A&T has deep in that bag of tricks in the playbook, I suggest you bring it out on 3rd down forever. A pivotal play with 7.5 to go. Marshall fields the snap, looks deep, throws high, caught by Braceful. So now you set up a position where you've got the ball, 4th down at the 16-yard line. And remember, Southfield A&T doesn't have a kicking game. They never try extra points.
Yeah, well, if you ask Tashi Braceful here, he's going to say, why don't you come back to me and do that again? Look at simple turnaround, goes up, beats his defender, looks at the coach, and tells him, give me the ball. And he did that down at the other end of the field. If I'm him, I'm screaming for the ball again. He's got the height advantage. Just throw it up to him. And it looks like they've been in a lot of single coverage. And like we said, Sean Hodges is an athlete, but you can't teach height.
Timeout by Cass Tech before a pivotal 4th down for Southfield A&T. In today's ever-changing real estate and mortgage lending world, the importance of a true professional has never been higher. At Success Mortgage Partners, our mission is for every borrower to receive level 10 service, and our goal is to get you the lowest rate possible. We want you to have the experience of a lifetime. Navigating a turbulent market like this needs to be handled by a real professional. So call Todd Barr at 734-674-6154 and put 20 years of local knowledge to use for your family. Success Mortgage Partners supports equal housing opportunity. Success Mortgage Partners. Visit them online and contact them to learn more about your eligibility for its mortgage products. Key moment in this ball game, 4th down for Southfield A&T. Just over 7 minutes to go, down by 8. Tashi Braceful wants the football stick. Are you going back to him? What are you calling here if you're the offense for A&T?
Well, like I said, if I'm Tashi Braceful, I'm in that huddle screaming for it. I think that would be a good play call, just another turnaround for him, another quick little curl route. But look at the Southfield A&T bio here, the OAA White Division, Division I enrollment, 1,667 students.
Play of the game right here. Marshall hit as he throws, incomplete. There's that man, Jalen Thompson, with the biggest hit of the ball game. And Cass Tech holds.
huge, huge play, too, because if that play gets off, if he's able to throw that ball, his wide receiver was turned around and wide open. Look at right there. A little bit of a push off to get open, but, man, that was going to be a touchdown if he puts it on the back shoulder. So huge play on defense by Cass Tech. And who would have thought a defensive play in this game?
Now, this thing isn't over. There's 7:15 on the clock, and Southfield A&T's got all their timeouts. But a touchdown here for Cass Tech, and Southfield A&T is really behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, Southfield A&T, you haven't been able to rely on your defense. You did get 2 turnovers on Thursday. Can you get one here?
I'd have to imagine we're about to get a steady diet of Sean Hodges. Umfield with a keeper after a long, elongated fake to Hodges. Tumbles ahead for a couple on first down for the Technicians. Stick, as we know, and all high school football fans know in the state of Michigan, at Cass Tech, the expectation, win a state championship every single year. I say this in air quotes. They're in a slump. They haven't won one since 2016. Talking to everyone in the program, Marvin Rushing especially, goal hasn't changed. If they're not winning the state championship or competing for one, it's a bad year.
Yeah, and you look at the record last year, 6-4. Take that with a grain of salt. 2 of those losses were against Martin Luther King, so that is nothing to really shy away from. King was an incredible team last year.
Hodges on the ground. First carry, first down of a very important drive for Cass Tech. Trying to bleed some clock and put this one in the win column.
And I just don't know what Southfield A&T can do besides selling out right now with blitz packages and doing whatever you can, because you've shown that your base defense isn't able to stop Hodges, especially when he gets to the edge and he's able to use his speed.
Hodges with 7 carries, 70 yards in the second half. He had a touchdown in the late stages of the second quarter. Coming up on the halfway mark of the fourth quarter. Umfield keeps, tackled in the open field as he crosses the 30. Still, though, Stick, this is what Cass Tech wants to do. Keep staying ahead of the chains, keep the ball on the ground, keep bleeding the clock, and eventually force A&T to start burning some of those timeouts.
Yeah, and even though that was only a 3-yard gain, that was the right read there. You see if he hands it off to number 2, Sean Hodges, he's going to lose yards. So a 3-yard gain is obviously better than a 3-yard loss. It was a correct read. The clock's still moving. You keep the ball, and you're on schedule.
Southfield A&T looking for a play defensively. Name of the game right now for Cass Tech, ball security. High and tight. Umfield wants to throw. He lobs a gorgeous ball down the near sideline. Incomplete. Flag out. He was hoping for Shivers, who tried to make a one-handed catch. And they're going to get the flag on Jaden Bush.
And you just got to love Cass Tech, right? You got to love the mentality. You've been running it. You had another running down. You could have kept the clock going, but they just cannot sit on their hands for more than a couple plays. They got to use their athletes. They got to go for it. I love that play call. I love the aggressiveness. Win the game. Don't try to not lose it.
Sometimes teams, quite frankly, can run into that trap where you're just trying to end the game. You're not trying to win it. You're trying not to lose it. Yep. And sometimes, as you're saying, that can just bite you in the backside.
I've seen it happen hundreds and hundreds of times because you lose that tenacity. You lose that aggressiveness. Like, keep it on. Keep the pressure on. Make them make a play. Don't just sit back and become a different team than you were the entire 3 quarters.
First down, Cass Tech. Starting to march toward midfield. Southfield A&T does have all 3 timeouts left. Give Hodges. Gain of a couple. Davis made the tackle for Southfield A&T. If you're Southfield A&T's coaching staff, Stick, when do you start using the timeouts?
You're getting close to it. You want to make sure that you're holding them to, you know, a 3rd down situation. You don't want to waste them on a 1st down or something like that. Like this, if they stop them here to the next 2 yards, 2-yard gain on this, maybe even get a sack or something. Now you start using them. But if they get a 1st down, you gotta judge the down and distance, really.
4.5 to go. Home field back to the gun, very aware of the play clock. Hodges slipped a tackle, couldn't slip the second. Southfield A&T trying to rush at that football and scratch and claw at it. It's going to be Cass Tech 3rd down, and Southfield A&T will take their first timeout.
And that's perfect. That's exactly what we were talking about. 2-3 yard gain. Now you have 3rd and distance. So your timeout is actually meaning something because you can get the ball back if you get another 2 stops.
You're getting a look at Aaron Marshall, the head coach for Southfield A&T. Frustrated by how last year went, 2-7 record, and his inaugural year as the head coach for Southfield A&T. Former Penguin at Youngstown State, played professionally in the Arena League for 4 years. Relative of Isaiah Marshall, Isaiah loves being tutored by Aaron. And even if this game ends up not going their way, Stick, I think what the good news you can take away is the talent's been on display, A. B, your program played Cass Tech last year, lost 49-22, and it wasn't that close. They've been in this game from start until the bitter end with 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, and that's growth, right? That's exactly what you're looking for as a program. And you do have to take some pride in that, but obviously if you hang that W today, it means a lot more to the program. So there's still time to do it. Hopefully you can force a turnover. If you're on defense, go attack the ball. But yeah, Southfield A&T, nothing to hang your head about how you competed against a Cass Tech team with a big front line too.
Every single lineman for Cass Tech is at least 255. 4 of the 5 are at least 280 pounds. They need them here on a pivotal 3rd down, up by 8 with 4 minutes to go. Somebody jumped. Now Cass Tech is really behind the 8 ball. The false start backs him up, and now, Stick, do you dare throw the football, or do you keep it running to at least force Southfield A&T at worst to burn a timeout?
How about I meet you in the middle? How about a little screen pass to the outside? I'm throwing the ball, but it's a safe throw, and it could potentially get me the 1st down. Maybe, you saw A&T had a nice middle screen on their last drive that didn't work out. If I'm Cass Tech, maybe I steal that. But, we haven't seen them in a while go to their big safety valve, Kamari Anderson. That's who I may be looking at, too, over the middle.
They will try and throw. Clean pocket. Down the near sideline. Incomplete. Tight coverage and no flag. Cass Tech went for it, and it backfired.
Yeah, not only is it an incomplete pass, obviously it stops the clock. They don't have to use a timeout. That's why I like getting the completion on the screen pass, because at least the clock is still rolling.
And on a day where there's been a lot of flags, that time the officials kept it in the back pocket and let them play.
Yeah, and there was some hand fighting there, but I like how the defender was able to turn around and locate the ball.
Yeah, nice job by Jaden Bush. Mumfield, the punter. And it's obviously the first game of the year because everyone's counting and making sure that everyone's on special teams.
And I'd be careful with Mumfield as your punter, too. That gives you several options.
Jawan Jarrett, the guy back deep for A&T. Mumfield does kick it. Great swing with the left leg. Jarrett fields at the 20. Got to get away from a couple. He does get away from a couple. Jawan Jarrett with room. Made a man miss. Made another man miss. He's down to the 20.
Jarrett has been Mr. Everything for Southfield A&T today. Not only receiving, he's caught a couple passes behind the line of scrimmage, but you saw it there. What a huge punt return for Southfield A&T, and a huge stop for their defense, and maybe a huge moment for this entire program.
I mean, watch this. There's about 4 different times you think Cass Tech's finally going to get him. Not there. Another one coming up here. They won't get him here. They won't get him there. He's magic.
And you got to appreciate, I'm not sure what number that was. I think it may have been 15 for Southfield A&T, not picking up that illegal block in the back at the end there, because those are tempting. Those are really tempting. If it was number 15, that is Brendan Wright. He did a great job of avoiding a penalty.
If anyone ever deserved a drink of water, it's Jawan Jarrett. He'll be back in that field in a second. Hope you didn't flip off this ball game. Southfield A&T is alive. They start in the red zone. Marshall throwing, end zone, braceful, yes! Touchdown! We were waiting for him all game. And at the best time, Tashi Braceful comes up big.
And you're hearing the coaches in the next room calling him the best wide receiver in the state. And we were talking about he's had a pretty quiet day, but whenever they've gone to him, he's turned to the coach and said, feed me, feed me, feed me. They finally decided to feed him at the most important time of the game, and a touchdown wide open, beautiful. My goodness, Southfield A&T feeling really good about themselves right now.
But they gotta get the 2.
So what do you run? The same play as the first time? It looks like they don't have that stacked backfield. Do a little run option with my quarterback. We haven't seen Marshall run it really much in the fourth quarter.
So this is really important. Southfield A&T just called the timeout. If they don't get it, they only have 1 timeout left, and that basically means if Cass Tech gets a first down on offense, the game's over.
That is an interesting use of the timeout, but what play is going to be more important than this one?
Yeah.
If you don't get it, it's kind of a moot point, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Woo-wee. Man, this game has definitely been worth the wait. It's been worth the hype. Now I know why it was overcrowded on Thursday night, because this is what people want to see. I mean, this is the first week of high school football, and we have a barn burner going on.
Aaron Marshall's Southfield A&T Warriors are staring down a Cass Tech program that if you don't say they're one of the top 5 programs in the history of the state of Michigan, I think you make an incorrect list.
I don't know who else is on that list. I'd like to see it.
Well, Detroit King would like a word. Brother Rice, Catholic Central would like a word. Muskegon would like a word.
St. Mary's would like a word.
How many other teams can we name?
They'd like to have a word, but play it out on the field against Cass Tech and some of their great teams. I think they'd match up with anybody.
Here we go. Marshall in the gun. Burt the back on his left. A 2-point try with the game on the line.
You got ISO down here with Tashi Braceful.
Marshall looking right, throwing right. It is caught for a tie game. It's Nigel Dunton.
And that is very close to the play they tried to run on a two-point conversion down at the other end of the field. Just the pass wasn't there on time. This time the timing was great, that he makes the break. Nice lead by Marshall. And this is not an easy pass. You're going from the left hash all the way to the right side of the field. And that takes a strong, strong arm. And look at that throw. Woo, Corey Sadler, with all the speed that he has, could not get there.
40 all. Now,
feeling overtime?
Well, so here's the thing. Cass Tech's not feeling overtime. You got 3.5 to go. Southfield A&T 1 timeout. So if you're that coaching staff led by Marvin Rushing, what is in your thinking process? And keep in mind, by their own admission and own thought, they've got the best kicker they've ever had, so they only need a field goal to win this game.
Yeah, and if I'm Marvin Rushing, I have my team, I say, listen, scoring hasn't been our issue. We can go out there, we can do this right now. Let's just stay calm, do what we've continued to do, and let's just dominate with our size. This is when we're talking about conditioning coming in. This is when we're talking about, hey, we have a great offensive line, we got the big fellas, it's time to prove it.
Game 1 of the year, part 2 of game 1 of the year, with barely anybody here. And it kind of feels like Ford Field Thanksgiving weekend with the way these two teams are going back and forth.
Yeah, there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 10 fans over there. They're all standing.
A&T will kick it short. Chance for a return for Cass Tech.
Uh-oh.
It's Sadler, left side. Corey Sadler Jr., the freshman, with an excellent return inside the 40. And Cass Tech is seeing red on this drive with a chance to take the lead back late.
Ah, man, this is where not having a kicking game really, really hurts you. Because, I mean, even at best, he gets it on their own 40-yard line. But now you kick it to a guy like Sadler, and once again, he uses his speed to go all the way across the field and deliver a hit at the end. And now what? 20 yards? They're in field goal range, potentially?
So you're at the 39-yard line right now. If you get 20, that's a 36-yarder, and they're very confident in Sanchez, their sophomore kicker. We'll see how Marvin Rushing and his coaching staff plays this. Give Hodges. room, Sean Hodges. He's still running. Staying on his feet, tightrope in the sidelines. He is just so electric, but there is a flag.
And a holding. That is a huge, huge, huge call. And it's coming back against Cass Tech. My goodness. I was thinking in my head, all right, now's the time you got to let them score almost, right? But with that holding call, it's a whole new ball game. Now the down and distance, if they try to pass, a couple dead balls, Southfield A&T could get the ball back.
They were pulling the offensive lineman. Maybe they got Jelani Walker, the freshman right guard. We've talked so much about the size and strength of the offensive and defensive lines for Cass Tech, but there is a flaw, potentially. It's a young line, 2 freshmen, the right guard spot and left guard spot, left tackle spot.
Yeah, and really think about that for Cass Tech, you know, the story program that it is. We've been talking about it. 3 freshmen starting for them, and all of them exceptional.
They got to be exceptional here. It's first down and forever. Mumfield stepping away from pressure. Sean Mumfield brought down by Davis, just shy of the original line of scrimmage with 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, Southfield A&T's got to make that tackle about 5 yards earlier to really, really help their cause. But give it to Mumfield and all the credit in the world. He's definitely slick, he's definitely fast, and we really haven't seen him pull it down and run a lot. Let's take a look at Cass Tech head coach Marvin Rushing, 2nd season, overall 19th year coaching, 10th at Cass Tech. You love that lineage.
And had to replace Thomas Wilcher, one of the best coaches in the history of the state of Michigan. Give Hodges, not very much up the middle. So here we go, Stick. 3rd down for Cass Tech with just over 2 minutes to go. 1 timeout for A&T. You're not in field goal range yet. What are you doing?
See, I would have used my timeout here. That's one thing I would have done, because if Cass Tech decides to elect to go for it and pass, then you're getting the ball back with 0 time off the clock. But they're electing to let them run the clock here for the 3rd down, potentially use it after this play, even if they run the ball, get the timeout. Either way, Cass Tech, man, I'm getting into Sadler's hands. I haven't seen him much this game, or this day of this game.
They're going to bring him across the formation, number 1 in the slot near side.
And they're playing way off of him.
Mumfield pumps. Mumfield throws down the field. Incomplete! They were going for Sadler and he was open.
Wide open. Running wide open. If that ball is thrown towards the inside hash and not the outside hash, that is a pure touchdown. Because really it looked to me like that ball could have potentially been for Elijah Jordan too.
Now this wouldn't have counted because Cass Tech does commit a hold, but watch it again.
I decline this one.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, if that's to the inside, nobody was around him for about a 20-yard radius when he was at his most wide open. Huge, huge, huge miss, but that is the guy you got to go to. And what a great play. If you guys want to replay that one more time, it was a double move by Sadler, too, to get him that wide open, because I was keying in on him that whole play. My goodness.
I mean, what decision does Cass Tech make here? We're getting a love to look at the play one more time, Stig, as you want it.
See, there's the pump, so that was for the double move, and that's why he was wide open. Like I said, if that ball's thrown over his left shoulder, easy touchdown. And they're punting.
Miscommunication on both sides. Mumfield punts.
Great punt.
Did that go out of bounds by the pylon?
That was a perfect coffin corner punt by the quarterback.
You have got to be kidding me.
And honestly, the officials being generous with that spot. That was about the 4-inch line that went out on. So 99 yards to glory.
And with 1 timeout. Good luck, Isaiah Marshall.
Well, the good news is, in high school football, clock stops on 1st downs. Look at this punt.
I mean, come on now.
You can't draw it up better than that. It's like when you're practicing on Madden when they used to have the training feature.
What a punt.
So what do you do here? I mean, you don't want to run the ball up the middle just to kind of bleed the clock out, but you are in a precarious position to where you don't also want to throw an interception that's 20 yards down the field either. You got to be cautious, but you also got to be aggressive and go for the win, right? What does Southfield A&T have to lose?
Well, we'll find out what decision they make. In their own end zone. Give. Oh, they barely got out of the end zone. Didn't get a thing. Let's see if Cass Tech ever calls these timeouts they've got.
Yeah, off of that play, you probably would have. But man, Southfield A&T lucky to get out of the end zone.
I mean, Bird really had to lean forward to make sure that wasn't a disaster.
I mean, you got to look at Jared, right? He's been your guy the entire game. He's the guy that if you get out in open space, he can run this whole 99-yard field. That's who I'm looking for. But you also, you know, go back to Tashi. Hit him on a streak. You still got single coverage.
Yeah, you got him on Hodges. Marshall keeps. Oh, this is a disaster! It's a safety for Cass Tech! They actually ripped it away from Marshall, and they've called it a touchdown. It's a moot point at this point. Marshall keeps it on the read, and it was a horrific decision.
But actually, the touchdown is a much better call for Southfield A&T than a safety. A safety, you got to give the ball back to Cass Tech. At least in this scenario, Southfield A&T can respond. But my goodness, what a turn of events. You would never expect that. Ever, ever, ever. So that's a better thing than it being a safety if they're calling it a touchdown.
Stick, that's an incredible point you make, right? Because if it's a safety, you've got to kick it back to him. The game's over.
Correct.
But now you actually have a chance.
You're getting the ball back, so you stop them here on their two-point conversion or extra point, and you're down 6 in actually a better position. It's not over. That's what I'm trying to say.
Somehow, Southfield A&T still has a pulse.
I can't believe they called this a touchdown, though. I mean, clearly his forward momentum was stopped. Oh, well, maybe that's why. He came in, and who else was it? The man of the hour, Corey Sadler, the freshman coming in.
Is this legitimately one of the greatest first ever high school games in football in the history of the state of Michigan?
I mean, I judge things on goosebumps, and this game has given me goosebumps multiple times. So, yes, I would put this up there. And I'm so happy that we were able to be a part of it.
That is a absolutely elated Cass Tech sideline. As for your Southfield A&T sideline, shell-shocked is being generous.
Yeah, but the coach has got to let them know, man, hey, we're going to get the ball back. We'll only have 36 seconds, but we're getting this ball back. And especially you've seen it, Cass Tech doesn't have a really deep kick. You have good kick returners, so you have a chance. But wow, what a crazy, crazy turn of events.
You think this game was worth the wait, huh?
Oh my goodness. I wish all football games were like this.
This is like a Madden game come to life. So Cass Tech called a timeout. They've got one left. And now they're going to bring him back in the field.
It's a very interesting read option call, but they've had some success with that in the game. But, you know, we were talking before, at least try to bomb it once to Tashi, right? Give yourself a puncher's chance in this. Trying to run against Cass Tech is always a recipe for disaster. I haven't seen this lineup in a while.
It's a good old-fashioned swinging gate.
Yes.
Mumfield with a man in motion. They'll snap it, he'll keep it, he'll spin and dive in for 2. Like this game didn't have enough.
Well, the old swinging gate quarterback draw worked, and it's a numbers game when you're playing that. As soon as you saw the one man head out to go to the rest of the team and it was 2-on-2, you hope that your quarterback can win that one-on-one battle, and that's exactly what he did. It was a showdown between him and number 2, Clayton Mauricio, or Mauricio Clayton, and he was able to beat him.
So in he goes for 2. And now that changes the math here, right? Because it's an 8-point game, 36 seconds to go. Yeah, Southfield A&T I suppose the good news is you get the ball back, but now you got to somehow go down the field in 36 seconds, and you got to do it with one timeout. Now, granted, Cass Tech's kicking game has pretty much allowed Southfield A&T to get decent enough starting field position around the 30, 35-yard line at least.
Very true. And you also got to remember how many penalties have been called in this game. So you throw a couple bombs, you may get a couple pass interference penalties. But my goodness, everybody in the chat right now going absolutely crazy about this game. Got to say hi to Jay, hi to Cameron, hi to Matthew, hi to Wallahai, hi to Nari. Lots of people in the chat right now. Make sure you subscribe to the Prep YouTube page. Make sure you follow them all season long for games like this.
Sanchez, the kicker. In part 2 of this game, the longest kick he had was to the 10-yard line. This is his biggest kick of the game.
See what they elect to do. So quiet.
It's a line drive kick that stays in bounds. Jones has to pick it up, and Southfield A&T, by their standards, backed up. They'll start at the 27 with 33 seconds left and one timeout to drive the field, score a touchdown, and then get the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, I thought that ball was going to go out of bounds, and that would have been a crucial mistake by Cass Tech, but it just died right there about a foot away from the sideline. So that's a little bit of a break for Cass Tech, but, you know, 33 seconds. We've seen this offense. It's very explosive, and if Cass Tech starts playing that, you know, prevent defense, you're going to give Southfield A&T a lot of options underneath, and once those athletes get into space, you never know what can happen.
In this game, I literally would not discount anything happening. In a game that's taken 3 days to play, 2 different stadiums to play, we have 88 combined points, and somehow the game's not over.
And 47 penalties.
That's it?
That's it.
It's one of those games where you need a nap after. Here we go. Isaiah Marshall zipping it near side, incomplete flag. Braceful and Hodges matched up. They're going to get Hodges.
And that's the thing, man. You keep going to Tashi Braceful. He's been shown that he's been able to get open, and maybe coming up here, you try that double route because he's gotten them a couple times on that curl. So you do a little stutter go and hopefully catch him. But yeah, penalties have been a part of this game.
Here's another look. So after the PI penalty, Omar, get all the way up to the 45. That play took 6 seconds off the clock. You know Southfield A&T is working sidelines. Marshall stepping up, spinning away, somehow. Isaiah Marshall out of bounds at the 36. And somehow Southfield A&T is going to have a chance to at least take a couple cracks at the end zone.
You're in range, right? We talked about this earlier about the 35-yard line in high school is where you feel comfortable with your quarterback, always throwing that Hail Mary pass. So if nothing else, you can run 3 Hail Marys here, 4 Hail Marys here. But if you're Southfield A&T, just keep matriculating the ball down the field nice and slow like this.
Heady play by Marshall to get out of bounds, of course. Keep that one timeout for Southfield A&T. Marshall throwing wide of Braceful.
Braceful was wide open on that too. A little bit of a push off there, but that was the hook pattern again. The hook pattern again, and you're wondering, when are they going to set it up for the hook and go?
Not the end of the world for Southfield A&T. Didn't burn a ton of time.
No, incomplete passes aren't bad right now. Stops the clock, you get to resettle, you get to call a play. You know, it's a short gain of like 9 yards that'll kill you right here.
$14 seconds to go.
2 deep safeties.
Marshall loading, throwing, deep, caught, Bowman out of bounds. He's out of bounds. They'll mark him near the 6. Stops the clock with 8 seconds to go.
and you still have 1 timeout. So at minimum, what do you say? You got 2, 3 plays max here, right? And what a great throw. Marshall, I mean, you know he has that gun. He puts it right on the back shoulder. That's almost an indefensible throw if you're playing for Cass Tech, because you don't want to get beat deep, and you can't come back. Otherwise, it's going to be pass interference. Marshall on a run, maybe? Uh-oh.
Flag. They're going to call offside.
On Cass Tech?
Encroachment on Cass Tech, yep.
Give away too much information, but you can hear the Southfield A&T coaches next to us talking about who they want to key on this next play.
I mean, you do have 1 timeout and 8 seconds left, and now you're inside the 5.
Yeah, but you gotta throw. I mean, I guess you can run because of the 1 timeout, maybe catch them off guard. But when do you use that? Maybe on 2nd down. I'd try to throw here on 1st down. Maybe use my run on 2nd.
Marshall, over the middle, Braceful!
Did he catch that?
You bet he did! Tashi Braceful again!
The man that has been asking for the ball all day long comes up big in the 4th quarter, 2 touchdowns, and that is exactly who Southfield A&T's coaches were keying on before that play. They said that he's out there, he's alone, do we want to work the slant? And they did it to perfection. What a beautiful catch by Tashi Braceful, arguably one of the state's top, if not the top, wide receiver. Look at that, coming right in your screen. Great shot, too, by our cameraman.
He beat Sean Hodges, who's the stud running back on the other side for Cass Tech.
Give me more football. I want more. I want more of this.
Well, Southfield A&T, Stick, just called the timeout here. With 5 seconds to go before the 2-point conversion that decides if we're playing more football or not.
And I love the trash talk that's going on in our YouTube chat right now. You got Cass Tech people talking to Southfield people. And you know what? At the end of the day, both of these teams have played exceptional football on the offensive side. We've been able to be entertained. And, you know, it's going to come down to a defensive stop now. And it's right here, kind of poetic. How did we start out the day? With Southfield A&T trying for a 2-point conversion to tie it. How are we ending this game right now? With Southfield A&T trying for a 2-point conversion to tie it.
Whew. I mean, do you look for anyone but Braceful right now? Anyone else?
Jarrett has had a good game. Braceful has been absolutely on fire. And then, of course, you have Marshall in his legs. You know, you tried the run-pass option in the end zone. Do you want to do that here? But if they're going to single cover Braceful, I'm going to feed the man.
Cass Tech did have a timeout left, and they wanted to get a look at how Southfield A&T lined up. 5 seconds to go in the 4th quarter. I'd say the game, but at this point, we're not assuming anything. What an absolutely insane football game. In today's ever-changing real estate and mortgage lending world, the importance of a true professional has never been higher. At Success Mortgage Partners, our mission is for every borrower to receive level 10 service, and our goal is to get you the lowest rate possible. We want you to have the experience of a lifetime. Navigating a turbulent market like this needs to be handled by a real professional. Call Todd Barr at 734-647-6154 and put 20 years of local knowledge to use for you and your family.
Man, both coaches got to be talking to their team right now. Like, just, you got to be proud of your team either way, on both sides of the ball. But for it to come down to one play, this is what you play for. This is the fun stuff.
No timeouts left. 5 seconds left. A 2-point conversion, which either means we're playing overtime or Cass Tech survives.
And once again, we got to give a shout out to the G brand for making this possible. They got this entire broadcast underway in less than a day and a half. So thank you to the G brand.
Here we go, game on the line. Marshall throws, caught, 2, tie game, Jawan Jarrett.
that's one of the weapons we discussed that they could use. You know, you go with Tashi because of the touchdowns that he had, but Jarrett has been keeping them in this game, not only with kick returns, but receiving. You get this kid in space, and he is special. And they have run that play several times, just those little flare outs, and you trust your quarterback to put the ball on him right when he makes that turn. And they did it again. Tie game now, and that is why that touchdown so much more important than that being a safety.
Stick, you nailed it as soon as it happened. Jarrett again, who has accounted for basically half of Southfield A&T's points today.
Oh man, Shay just put in the chat, imagine this game with fans. I could not. This place would be rocking right now.
Started on Thursday, was suspended with 5:50 to go in the second quarter. They moved it here this afternoon with no fans. There's a couple of people here, but there's basically nobody here besides us.
Southfield A&T, now you're feeling a whole different sense of just energy coming from their sideline. They weren't really hyped this entire game, honestly. But my goodness, they are hyped at this very moment. 5 seconds, they got to cover. And you know that man, Corey Sadler, is getting this ball if they don't onside kick this. I'm going onside kick. I'm keeping it out of Sadler's hands.
Somehow there's still 5 seconds left. And the kick is going to go out of bounds. So Cass Tech is actually going to have a chance to at least launch one to the end zone. Kick sails out of bounds. Mumfield will bring the offense back in the field for at least one final play. Ooh, what do you call?
I mean, it's a Hail Mary. It's 4 verts. That's what you call right now. And I'm hoping to get it to big number 15 for Cass Tech. He's the guy that can go up over everybody. He's 6'5", 220 pounds. I'm talking about Kamari Anderson. That would be the guy I'm targeting on a Hail Mary pass. But right now, beggars can't be choosers. Just throw it up there and let your athletes go for it.
So Cass Tech gets the ball at Southfield A&T's 44-yard line. 96 combined points, 1 game, 3 days, 2 stadiums. Truth is stranger than fiction.
2 play-by-play hosts, too.
That's true.
You've done a great job stepping in the middle of this blind. Like, hey, what happened the first game? Well, we're here for this one. And this is it. Like, you didn't miss much. This is what it was like on Thursday. Just offense, offense, penalties, offense.
One last prayer for Cass Tech. Snap, Mumfield. This is the last play of regulation. To the end zone. Incomplete, we're going to overtime.
But you saw who they were throwing to. You had to go to Kamari Anderson on that. That's the guy you had to throw the jump ball to. Great call by the Cass Tech coach and great game. We are going to overtime.
Unreal. Let's hit a break and come on back. We all need to catch our breath. It is 48-all and we're going to overtime somehow. This football game is absolutely ridiculous.
They say that this is a game of inches, but I disagree. This is a game of desire and will. 4 quarters of epic drama that plays out in real time right before our very eyes. And every season begins the same way, with a desire to win. Those with the will to put in the effort and time put themselves in the best position to achieve their desire. This is why we go to work early and come home late. Why we go so hard and why we put in all these hours. Because we have a desire to be great and the will to become everything we dreamed of and more. So when the drama's thick and it comes down to just those few precious inches, we have no doubt what the outcome will be. because we have the will to outwork anyone to get what we desire. It doesn't matter if it's inches or 100 yards. We want it more, and we're going to take it. That's game.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here again with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. Everywhere you look this time of year, people are running, and that's a great thing because running is an excellent exercise, especially for your cardiovascular and musculoskeletal systems. But the question is, are you running a safe running program? All too often, people are hobbled by things like shin splints and patellar tendonitis. But luckily, simple things like stretching and warm-up, the right running shoes, and realistic weekly mileages can keep you in your running game. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
This is week 1 of the Michigan high school football season, and this may be the best game of the year. Cass Tech, Southfield A&T, going to overtime, tied at 48. Cass Tech starts with the football, first and goal at the 10. Each team gets one timeout in overtime. Mumfield throwing, incomplete. Trying to zip it over the middle, he missed Shivers.
Yeah, Cass Tech comes out with 4 wide, trying to throw that over the middle slant. Really good coverage by Southfield A&T on this. There weren't many people open. That's a tight throw. If he completes that, you got to tip your cap.
As Jaden Bush with really good coverage. Second out and goal for Cass Tech, who led 48-40 with 35 seconds left. Mumfield looking, throwing, great catch, trying to reach for the goal line. Sadler not going to get there as A&T wrangles him backward.
He's just so impressive. I mean, you saw him go up and get that. He's not the hugest in height, but man, this kid is strong. And look at this, coming across the slant, going up, getting the ball, big hands, pulls it down, and fights for the touchdown. Not enough to get in, but a great catch nonetheless.
Third down goal from the 2. Hodges will be the back with Mumfield in the shotgun.
Got to give Hodges a look, or that little tight end play that they've been successful with.
Give Hodges, touchdown. The senior in for another rushing touchdown.
He's just so strong, and his footwork in tight areas are so impressive. I mean, look at right here, breakdown in the hole. Watch him chop his feet right there. And then as soon as he plants that left foot, he's going 100 miles an hour. Great burst.
Friendly reminder for you, this is not college. There is never a time in high school overtime where you have to go for 2. But it looks like Cass Tech is going for 2. Because at this point, why not?
It is an interesting call, though, because they do have the kicker to secure the 1.
And a flag before the play. Delay a game, and I wonder if this means now Cass Tech will try the extra point.
We'll see. I'm not seeing the kicker running out on the field. And you wonder if it's just because Southfield, Southfield A&T isn't going to kick it, so you figure you got to get 2 to at least tie the next overtime, right?
Well, they'll go for it again. Now it's backed up to the 7. Play action, flipping it out, and they're not going to get there. Great open field tackle. Randall made the catch, but Southfield A&T holds.
Was that number 5 making that play? Jalen Todd. And I'm telling you, not only is that an impressive play, he left his man. He was covering the wide receiver, and as soon as the wide receiver went on the slant and he saw that ball being thrown in the flat, he left his man and came back to make that open field tackle. Watch him out here. You see number 5, he's guarding, and look he peels off to make that tackle. That is a college level play. That is excellent. Excellent play call by Cass Tech to open him, but you cannot discredit what that young man just did on defense.
Well, think of this, too. He's listed at 6'1", 170. Randall is 6'4", 210. But as they say, low man wins.
And that was perfect, stick, lock, lift. That's what we used to do in practice. That's what you do in the game. And I'm telling you, that is game film. You put that out there, you send that to any college, and they will be impressed because you are guarding 2 defenders on that. Great, great, great job by Jalen Todd.
Now Southfield A&T on the field. Marshall running up the middle. Still running. He didn't score, and there's a flag. We're going to get hold.
Oof, that is exactly what you don't want if you're Southfield A&T, because now your 1st and 10 turns to 1st and 20, and you just put yourself behind the 8 ball, especially after a big emotional play, stopping them on their 2-point conversion. That hurts.
Yep, you're going to get a hold right in the middle. Easy to see. That was Xavier Davis right in the middle, 55. So after the penalty, that backs it up.
Well, now you're giving Tashi a little more space to work with, right? Now maybe you can hit him in the corner route, because it looks like they have single coverage on him down at the bottom of the screen.
Marshall looking exactly that way. Tashi Braceful, a man possessed.
If you're Southfield A&T right now, man, do you wish you had a kicker just to hit this little chip shot and walk off the field, but we were talking about it. That extra 10 yards gives Tashi Braceful enough space to get behind his defender. The ball a little bit behind, but that's okay when your defender's not facing the quarterback. Impossible for him to defend. 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter and overtime for Tashi Braceful.
And now Southfield, look at him go. Southfield A&T is calling a timeout, and I think Tashi Braceful is going to plead to anyone who will listen. You are not throwing this football to anyone but me.
Yes. I think that's what he was just yelling at the coach on the way to the sidelines. Like, give me the ball. Because you saw him earlier. Feed me, feed me, feed me.
You know, typically at this point in the broadcast, where there's a 2-point conversion in overtime, where the game will literally be decided on this play. Try to give a recap. I'll just recap it simply for you. Tashi Braceful is really good at football.
Yeah. And so is Jarrett, and so is Sadler, and so is Mumfield, and so is Marshall. I mean, we have been chock full of athletes here. But my goodness. So, once again, back to the poetry of it all, right? We started it with Southfield A&T trying for a 2-point conversion. Now it's Southfield A&T trying for a 2-point conversion to win the game. And we cannot thank the G brand enough for making this possible.
1 game, 3 days, 2 stadiums, and enough points for a season. Southfield A&T on the field. Going to try a 2-point conversion. Cass Tech does have a timeout.
This is a new lineup for them, the split backs in the backfield. Watch for Jarrett.
Marshall running, leaning. He is in. This ball game is over.
It took 3 days. It took 56 points. It took 40 penalties. It took till Saturday afternoon. Southfield A&T, redemption from what they took last year. Watching this program grow up right before our eyes, this is by far the biggest game in Southfield A&T history, and we were able to be a part of it. Cannot thank these guys enough for that. Look at these kids celebrate on the field right now. What a great run by Marshall. You know, I was biting on the Jarrett. Jarrett was in the backfield. I said that's new. I would have been on the play action or the option to him. Marshall said, no, I'm going to plant my foot in the ground. I'm going to go right up the middle against Cass Tech and get the win. Unbelievable.
The Southfield A&T Warriors just sent a message to the entire state of Michigan. 3 days, 2 stadiums, 100 points. I did my math wrong. 110 points. And one of the best high school football games you'll ever see.
So how do we put this together? Do we clip the first half and the second half and mash them up and rebroadcast this? I don't know how to do it, but my goodness, let's take a look at the G players of the game. Obviously for Southfield A&T, you got big number 8 Marshall doing it with his leg, doing it with his arm, and then Tashi Bracewell just absolutely coming to life here in the 4th quarter in overtime. And you look over to the other side for Cass Tech. Mumfield, great, absolutely great game for him. The 2 interceptions on Thursday kind of kept Southfield A&T in the game, but Mumfield played it incredible. And then Sadler, you can't speak highly enough about him. He made plays on offense. He made the fumble recovery on defense. And that is probably one of the most ironic plays I've ever seen in a football game. That not being a safety gave Southfield A&T the ball back to be able to go down. If that's a safety, Southfield A&T has to kick the ball right back to Cass Tech, and they take a couple knees. So that was one of the weirdest, most excellent, longest, most entertaining games I've ever seen in my life. My goodness. I want more, but I'm glad it's over. But I want more.
Unbelievable. Well, Stick, you got the rest of the night to go back and rewatch this game. I have a feeling just a few folks across the state of Michigan are going to come back and rewatch one of the most ridiculous football games and best football games you will ever see.
Oh, man, you just wish there were fans here for these kids to share it with, because right now they're running over, hyping up to the bleachers. There's like 20 people in the bleachers, but imagine thousands of people here right now. They are going to be kings of the school on Monday, my friend. So thank you, Evan, for joining us. I know you got to take off. You got another game to do, but we will be right back with Lexi. She is going to catch up with coaches. She's going to catch up with players of the game. Plus, we have highlights for you. Lots and lots of highlights. 110 points scored in this game. Southfield A&T versus Cass Tech. We will be right back on the Prep.
Hi folks, Dr. Joe here again with Michigan Orthopedic Surgeons. Did you know that kids are not little adults when it comes to sports injuries? That's because of something called the growth plate. Growth plates exist all over the human body in our growing athletes. They're actually little cartilage discs that exist at the end of all the long bones. It's simply where a kid grows. The problem is that the growth plate can be the weak link. What might be a sprain, a strain, or a tear in an adult when they hurt themselves can actually be a growth plate fracture in a kid. So it's important, if your kid has hurt themselves and they're not using their arm or they're not able to put weight on a leg, come see one of us, get an x-ray, and make sure it's not a growth plate fracture. For more information, go to miorthosurgeons.com.
I'm Lexi Ayala here with Southfield's head coach, Aaron Marshall. Coach, this is a revenge game. You guys got them back from last year's game 1, week 1. This one took 2 attempts to complete, and it came down to overtime. How does it feel to finally get this one done?
It feels good. We worked really hard this offseason. We had a lot going on. Last year with the pandemic, Cass, unbelievable. I mean, opponent right there, state championship team. Great job by Coach Marvin Russian and with the staff he put together and the players he got ready to work. We're just happy, man, to be in this opportunity and, blessed to take the victory home.
Coach, take me through that last drive that sealed the deal. QB Isaiah Marshall, Tashi Bracefield. What made it happen?
That's just a great 1-2 punch they got, man. Both those guys work extremely hard. I don't remember a day this offseason they didn't do some kind of work to get better at their craft. So I'm just, impressed as always. Those guys, I learned so much from them, just as much as they learned from me. But those guys are some special players.
And, Coach, you told us before this game started that you think the biggest area of improvement in the offseason was the defensive end. Tell me about how they held the fort down tonight.
They gave up some things as we saw, but they made some crucial stops when we needed. Like that last 2-point conversion was huge. They made a stop earlier, which was huge, to give us the ball back. They had 2 turnovers to get us the ball back in the first half. Again, we're going to iron out some things. It's game 1 where you make the biggest strides from week 1 to week 2. But, again, they showed up when we needed them to most, so I'm proud of that.
What are you most proud of today?
The team effort, not giving up. 36 seconds left, and we just gave up a touchdown by fumbling in the end zone. A lot of people would have tanked it, thought it was over, but that says so much about who these boys are, and that's what I'm most proud of.
Congratulations on the win, Coach. Go celebrate with your team.
56-54, your final score here. Cass Tech and Southfield A&T. What a football game. Thank you all for joining us on the YouTube page to watch it. Don't forget to like and subscribe right now. There's going to be more high school football games heading your way all season long. And my goodness, I mean, we could recap all the scores, but that's 54-56. So that is a lot of scoring in the game. It was a heck of a game here, and you're looking at Southfield A&T right now celebrating on the field. This has got to feel so good for them. The only thing that's kind of bittersweet about this is they couldn't have done it on Thursday night in front of their fans, but I'm sure they will take this win just as happy as any other win, as you see them doing backflips, cartwheels. My goodness. These kids are fired up. They are going to have a fun Saturday night in Southfield. And let's take a look at some of the highlights of the game. And it was such a fun game to watch. Where are we starting with these highlights? Are we here? Yes, we are here. You're looking right now at Sean Hodges using his speed in the third quarter to get a touchdown, and then a huge sack coming back by Javen Sewell. That was pretty much the highlight of the third quarter. Then we get into the fourth quarter, and things start to get a little bit crazy here. Jarrett showing off his speed on a nice little curl route, getting up the sideline, and then you see another pump and go wide open to Jarrett. Jarrett was kind of having his way with the Cass Tech defense. And then you see Marshall right here back to Jarrett for the two-point conversion on the other side. That play was working for Southfield A&T a lot. And you see, it's real simple, nice timing play, but takes good arm strength from your quarterback to get it there. Cass Tech, though, they were not going away. They actually had the control of this game pretty much the entire time. And look at my man go. Sean Hodges, sidestepping, speed, using it all. Then back to Marshall off the back foot. Look at Tashi go up and get it. And that was kind of the play that got Tashi going. The rest of the third quarter, he was on fire. Another good play here by Cass Tech's defense to get off the field. And then Tashi just wide open over the top. Another two-point conversion, kind of the same play on the two-point conversion. And it worked for A&T all game long. Whenever they were running those either corner routes, slant routes, or away, it was working. And then this is the biggest play of the game to me. If this was a safety, this game is over. 36 seconds left. The ball is going back to Cass Tech, but they get the strip, and they get the touchdown instead of a safety, and that gave Southfield A&T the ball back and able to go down and score and tie it up. And then, woof. Look at that move right there. That was on the swinging gate play for the extra point, two-point conversion for Cass Tech. Mumfield just using his speed and athleticism. And then here it is. These are the big plays at the end of the game. Nice throw by Marshall down to the sideline, getting down to about the 9-yard line. Marshall again, a slant route to Tashi, who dove and got that ball. And he is feeling like a bad man at that moment. And what do they do again? They keep going to him. There's Jarrett to complete the two-point conversion. And then we get into overtime. And this is what we're looking at in overtime. Cass Tech runs the ball straight up the field. And then on a 1st and 20 back foot throw, Tashi wide open in the end zone. Actually not wide open, pretty decently covered, but nice back shoulder throw by the quarterback Marshall there. And here it is, the play of the game. This is to win it. You think they're going to run the option. Marshall puts his foot in the ground and goes and gets the victory for Southfield A&T. What a tremendous game. 48 hours later, still buzzing off of this. I think both teams can walk away with this with a lot of learning points and a lot of things that they feel good about themselves too. We have Lexi with our player of the game, Tashi, ready to go. I see her down there talking to him right now. And if we could get her talking, because we got to talk to this man. Early in the game, he was telling the coach, he was turning to the sideline, telling him to feed him. He really didn't get going till the fourth quarter. So we are down right now with Lexi on the field, talking to our player of the game, our G player of the game. Thank you to G Brand.
I'm Lexi Ayala here with Tashi Bracefield, man of the hour. Isaiah, right to you to seal the deal. What were you feeling like in those moments?
I was feeling great.
My team, we've been working all off season for this. Just for like waking up early, like just working when everybody doubted us. It felt great. It felt awesome.
Tell me about your QB. He made it happen. We have the dynamic duo between you two. Yeah. What about him makes him so great?
Isaiah, he's poised. He doesn't fold under pressure. I need him more. Isaiah, come over here, bro. We need you in this interview, bro.
He's hyping you up.
He's the guy. He's the best quarterback out here, and he's gonna be great for a very long time. He's just the man. He got ice in his veins.
Isaiah, I mean, he said it, ice in the veins. You made it happen on that last drive in overtime, seal the deal for the win. How did you make it happen? How did you spot him?
So I faked it, and I seen Jawan wasn't open for the pitch, so my only move was to make a move, and I made a move on him and scored. So.
Isaiah, and tell me about Tashi. I mean, what a game from this guy. He had a lot to say about you. What do you have to say about your teammate?
I think he's the best receiver in the state. Haven't seen nobody guard him yet, so I think he's the best receiver in the state. He made big-time plays, as y'all saw. So, yeah.
Tashi also said nobody has believed in you guys. Nobody thinks you guys were going to be able to do this. What's the message now?
We're going to take it 1 week at a time, and we shooting for number 1.
And you got a game next week against Clarkston. What's the game plan going into that one? What's the message you want to send?
Just be ready. We're going to watch film on them and be prepared for them.
And there you have it from the dynamic duo, Tashi Bracefield, Isaiah Marshall. I'm Lexi Ayala. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Lexi, for doing the sideline reporting at both locations for these games. And that does it for us for the prep here. 56-54 for Southfield A&T over Cass Tech. One of those football games you never want to see end. And I was hoping it would have gone to a third, fourth, fifth overtime. And I know the cast and crew here was hoping the same thing. And we got to thank everybody for doing this. Play-by-play, Evan Stockton filling in for Chad Bush. My name is Stick. I was on your color commentary today. Sideline reporting is Alexi Ayala. Sideline coordinator, Jalen Ayala. You got Alex Westfall, your executive producer. Your technical director is Robert Sherby. Fish on audio replay. My man CJ, graphics, Evan Westfall. Mike, Parabolic Mike. He's got the mic. And then camera 1, Rob Sarna. Camera 2, Brad Ross. Camera 3, Christian Armani Rose. Camera 4, Kyle Griffin. Stats today provided by the Bushes. That is Pat and Nate. And our creative director, James Ferris. Of course, Big Matt Schwartz on replay. And our cameraman, CJ Esterling. Thank you guys very much for making this broadcast possible in such short notice. Thank you to G-Brand for making sure everybody was out here to show you this game, because if this wasn't filmed, the entire world would have lost out on something great. Now we have it forever. It's in a time capsule right here on the prep. We will see you next Thursday for a broadcast, Orchard Lake St. Mary's and Hudsonville.